Alrighty. What's up, guys? It is Mad Games GX here. Gotta zoom in a little bit. We are here for our normally scheduled Monday live stream, except we're doing it a lot earlier this time, so hopefully we get to catch some new viewers. We get to get a bigger swath of people in here, because I usually stream around 7 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 to 7. We're a little bit early. How's everyone doing? X-Robot, thoughts on branded banishment? Oh, well, you're going to love this list I'm about to show off. Right when I switch to the desktop, we're going to be going over my post info list a little bit and then showing, because I'm going to be releasing a series of videos over the next 2 weeks, you know, talking about what you should be doing post info. I want to kind of like, glaze over that really, with this stream and like kind of, you know, prime you guys, show you guys that there are a lot of options for post info and branded. I think branded's actually amazing. I'm gonna be showing you guys some replays of post branded that I got against YuGiOh, Fiend Smith, against a lot of other top decks. We can even queue into some dueling book and try to do a live game. But of course, guys, we are roasting Decklists today. Post info Decklist. Make sure your Decklist is post info. It's probably not gonna get roasted. Obviously, not every deck gets to use the info cards, but you know, just make it prepared for info. Yeah, no, how's everyone doing? How's everyone freaking doing on this Monday? It's so hot in New York, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it is kind of one of those days that I am thanking every power that be for having an air conditioner right now. Yeah, no, I've been very happy lately. Hang out with some family. It's been a great time lately. Family's in town, so it's always great because of the holidays and, you know, other things, so... yeah, no, hope everyone's doing. Jake the Mountain Man, how you doing, bro? Zelda Duelist, YuGiOh, yo, what's up? Good, nice to see both of you in chat. How you doing, Jake the Mountain Man? Goated channel member in the chat. Where are you up to on this Monday, my man? Probably just working hard. I just got back from the gym. If you guys see me sweaty, I don't have those hydro massage chairs like Mr. Jake the Mountain Man does, so I wasn't able to cool off. But we're using the AC. It's okay. Forgive me. Venom... MGX, what's good, bro? How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, guys, like, you guys can call me like MGX, Chris, like, it's all applicable. I've always thought, like, you know, just to be like MGX for abbreviation. But yeah, guys, we're gonna be going into branded, post-branded info, roasting Decklists. I just want to show you guys what branded is doing post info in terms of like the technical play, because I think branded's actually great into the new format, actually. Like, 100%. Branded is one of the best decks post info upon testing. Now, is it this is with the caveat that's a lot harder to play branded this post info, so let's just switch over. Guys, make sure to leave a like on the stream. But yeah, guys, we are gonna be going, but yeah, no, I think branded overall, there is a lot going on with it, where post info, it's going to be able to break a lot of boards, and it fits board breakers really well. So this is kind of like, I'm getting to like a 50 card list at this point around for info, and you guys see I have the lad in here. The lad is something I've been hard testing. I think it's actually quite good. So we are going to be like at least testing that today. Lad is one of those cards where you just kind of, it works under Lost. Like, some people don't understand that. It also works under Lost, so that's why it's, like, fine to have it on. It gives you an Omni Negate, which is really nice. So, and it fits into your standard combo line just exactly how Sanctifier would. So, I think it's going to be, like, an amazing Sanctifier replacement if Sanctifier ever gets banned. I do think it's pretty good into this format, though, because it is just quite easy to summon off a Branded Banishment. And Branded Banishment is just, like, one of those cards that is just incredible. like whenever you can run it and like resolve it, it's one of those great cards. Bob Plant, how you doing? Long John Silver, how you doing? Channel member in the chat, what's up? Chicken Waves in the chat. No more chummies, guys. We'll talk about that. Like, we don't really need chummy in our deck. I am siding hand traps though, so guys, we're gonna be talking like the outlines of what we should be doing for branded post info, because I think like, so last format, this format we're currently in before info, I think it is 100% correct to say that 60 card branded is the best build, like just from the tops, like all the tops, like it's 50 to 60 card branded. So I think that overall that's being a factor of just not a lot, whole lot of main deck Droll and Lockbirds, which hurts that variant. Also just having the gas to fight through a fire deck is super important right now. I think that going into the next format, this can actually largely stay true, even though Droll and Lockbird will be much more of a factor. As you guys see, I have Droll and Lockbird in my side deck, so I do want to. So Droll's gonna be very good next format. Droll hurts a lot of the top decks. Now, a Fire King or a Snake Eye player playing around Droll can still full combo for the most part through Droll if they have enough pieces. So it's one of those cards that's very good in combination. I do have the Phantasme into Board Breakers, though, so I do think I like that. I'm still testing it, though. This isn't something that's, like, final into my Nats list. I'm just, like, Droll really does, like, I will show you the replay, guys, but I turn skipped a Snake Eye player, but I lost that game. So that is kind of something interesting, and we'll go over that when we go into the post-info replays that I was going over last night. Shout out to Master of Logic and aka Krabs, and shout out to Raul the GOAT. Hioxes, what's up, bro? What do you think of Performer Pale 5 Rainbow Magician used with Gatling Ghoul going second? Isn't that like a time option? I don't know why my music's so loud. Sorry, guys. We got 3 people watching. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? We're going over how to deck build right now in branded Despia post info. So I think overall, though, a 50-ish card list is looking pretty good because I'll show you the replays where I tested 60 card branded, and it has an issue, in my opinion, of not seeing your good cards, which is really important in this next format. Like, the context of the next format is the Fiend Smith cards are being released, and there's a lot of other archetypes that just get buffed up. Plus a lot of really good generic cards, so just the power creep goes up in the game, so the end boards are way better. There's going to be less non-engine in the decks, though, now, because of Fiend Smith. You know, like, Snake Eye's only going to be able to run 1 Flamebird now, guys. Like, that is a dynamic shift versus the fire decks. Like, if you can just one and done their Flamebirds, even though their end boards are a lot better, that's pretty good, but I might be getting ahead of myself. I do think that the context is that the end boards are going to be way better, so it's going to turn into a board breaker format where hand traps are worse and board breakers are way better. Why are hand traps going to be worse, you might ask? Because the end boards are going to be so good because of the Fiend Smith cards providing so many decks from Yubel, Snake Eye, Memento, the ability to just full combo, get into their own engine, and give themselves a Beatrice, a Wave King Caesar, or just Link Climb, essentially, and just extend through their deck while playing through hand traps, because you can't imperm the Fiend Smith engine. It's pretty nuts. So, like, it plays through Droll as well. So, yeah, no, well, actually, it depends. It depends on the hand. It does not always play through Droll. That's why I'm saying Droll's pretty good, because, like, the Fiend Smith engine does search, and then you could Droll on that, and then they just get turns. It depends. Okay, Jake I already said, what's up, bro? How you doing? Adam Friedus, any advice on playing branded without Sanctifier? I would be focusing on, yeah, you can definitely play branded without Sanctifier. Like I said, like, this Light and Darkness Dragon Lord is going to be your best option when Sanctifier gets banned, in my opinion, honestly. So, like, this guy basically fits into the 1-card combo that Branded Fusion provides for Sanctifier. So you could just 1-in-1 replace Sanctifier with Light and Darkness Dragon, and then you just take out Gimmick Puppet for banishment. You guys can see I'm running both, because I feel like Sanctifier, when you're running so many light spellcasters, shout out to the goo, and we'll be going over that more in the video, guys. I won't be going over that in this video, but we'll be talking about everything else. We do have a special video for some of the new info cards, but we're going to be going over Light and Darkness Dragon Lord, and just, like, the context of how, like, be breaking these, like, breaking the Fiend Smith board, how to be breaking the Yubel boards, and how to prepare for them, and, like, what non-engine we're going to be looking at. And so I was let me finish the point on the non-engine after I say hi to a few more people in chat. Wow, live stream before midnight. I know, GZ1K, it's crazy, and we're still in the preamble. Jake the Mountain Man, working my dude. Yeah, my Hydro chairs are the GOAT. Yeah, brother, I was feeling it today. Sore, but it's okay. We power through it. Adam Friedis, hope you're having a good day, my man. How is the gimmick puppet testing going? I actually don't think Konami's gonna hit gimmick puppets over here. Like, they aren't. Gimmick puppets is gonna be there, I feel like, for a long time. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not trying to gas up Jake the Mountain Man. I do have two very good friends who do play this deck, but I don't think that because the OCG tends to hit those decks like right away, and we'll just take maybe in like the fall ban list, but like honestly gimmick puppet, I don't even know if it deserves it. We'll see. Mega Gates EX, where do I post my deck list to be roasted? In the hashtag deck list of my Discord. I'm gonna put !Discord in the chat. Make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already, and post your post info deck list over there, and I will roast it on stream once we go over some replays, learn how to break the U-Bell and Snake Eye board, and go over this deck building in the Light and Darkness Dragon. Mackenzie Kalaniv, 50 card budget list. Yeah, so like if you go my budget list, you could just take out like the Desires, like 2 High Spirits, and like kind of make it like look like this essentially, and then just like over the Thrust you could probably keep the High Spirits and like Saronir. Hope you guys enjoyed that budget list. It was really cool, honestly. I got some really kind compliments on it. Bob Plant, that last format was mostly a breaker format. Again, was the main deck OCG card. Yeah, that's Asteria of the Whitewood, so we're going to be going over that in a video, but you guys will see me combo in the replay, so you guys will get a little taste of what's going on. There has to be a video on this card, so I'm going to be making a video very soon. Shout out to Raul, like... Shout out to Raul. That's all I gotta say, man. This card's nuts. So Devin Reeves, what is up, Chris? Potential board breaker format Pog. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, no. So this is gonna be a board breaker format, guys. If you haven't noticed already, like everybody's gonna be main decking Dark Ruler no more. Like for the most part, I could be wrong, but that's how it's been in testing so far. Like, you are going to see a lot of main deck Dark Ruler no more, so it's going to be dangerous to go into the main phase for Sanctifier, obviously. So you're going to be... It's a weird duality, right? Because you have Gimmick Puppets in the format, and then... So if you just draw phase Gimmick Puppet, you're going to like lose a lot of advantage. You're going to insta lose to Gimmick Puppet. So you want to go main phase to Gimmick Puppet and just tease it out as usual. That's how it's been this format for the most part. However, I think that might lose to Dark Rulers in the main deck, so we kind of just have to play around Dark Ruler in the main deck, guys. Just always consider that. That's why I'm maining the Dark Ruler. I think Dark Ruler is the best card by far. You guys will see in the replays, like, this card basically put in more work than any other card in my deck, like, to breaking board. Every time I saw I was able to break the board, as long as I had like sufficient enough extension. That's why I think Dark Ruler is just like way better than Droplet right now, but I still like Droplet. Droplet goes in conjunction with Dark Ruler because there's a lot of decks that have an Omni Negate right now for Dark Ruler, such as like Centurion and Snake Eye, and it depends on their board though. Not a lot of Snake Eye players are playing around Dark Ruler right now, which I don't get why. Like, the card's way too good. Like, this card crushes Snake Eye right now. This is the one reason why I'm not too scared of this meta, as long as like people aren't doing absurd Griffin lines stuff. Because in my testing initially, I was running into Fiend Smith. Like, I can show you guys some replays if we get to it at one point, but people were doing like Griffin lines where you just like set up a floodgate, and we can't interact with that because we have no hand traps. So that's why I think like on some level we do need some hand traps. I think Phantasme is one of the better ones, so you can draw into your cards. It's a High Spirits bridge, and then it's also a dark. It also gives you a body. It's better than Mulchummy strictly in our deck, I think, for the most part. And Drolan obviously is just like that turn skip. This could be an Ash or something. I've debated on, or Imperm rather, you know. I don't think Ash is that good. I think Ash is quite bad this format, though. Elic, hey, brother. Hope you've been well. Thank you very much. Hope you've been well, too, Elic. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Zelda Duelist Sword with only 1 High Spirits and 1 of each Bestial is really crazy. Yeah, no. See, the thing is, I initially was not playing Sword in this build, and I came into several games where I would have won if I had Sword. I think what you have to do with Allure of Darkness, it kind of bridges, like, you're banishing a lot. So it allows you to banish your Albazes with ease, and then Sword allows you to just have a really nutty grind game. I actually wanted to cut it. I want this to get to 50 cards. It's really hard for me. Like, I cut Foolish. I could cut the Gold Sark. make it like that. Maybe I could cut the gold or the sword and it's really clean, or like obviously I could cut the banishment, but I like the lad. Honestly, I do really like the lad. It gives you a lot more things to do in the grind game. You can summon this guy so easily, guys. Like just through just through several obviously the branded banishment, but we could also run branded in white. I think branded in white is something I could consider for this list, but no. Let me go back to that. Well, let me show you guys some replays right now. So I want to show you guys how to break a Fiend Smith board. Shout out to Raul for this. So you guys are going to see a couple takebacks, which is fine. We're just trying to figure out, like I'm not going to... I want to figure out the best lines and if the hand can actually do it. So I'm intentionally going second also. I want... Because, like, I feel like the main challenge you guys should have for Euros and Nats is to learn how to break a YuGiOh Fiend Smith and a YuGiOh Snake Eye, or in a Fiend Smith Snake Eye board. If you know how to break those boards with branded or whatever deck you have, you are going to be big shilling for this format, as long as you have some like relevant spice for the format. Or just like, you know, just you have a solid build that has a good grasp on the meta, because if you're making these meta calls, like people are going to be on Duel, people are going to be on more board breakers and less hand traps, that means our game ones are going to be infinitely better this format if there are less hand traps, which there will be, because there will be more board breakers and more engine in the meta. You guys see the Fiend Smith engine just going into any deck that can run it, and that, what does that mean at the end of the day? What is the implication that hits every deck because of that? Less non-engine. That's a good thing when there's a lot of decks right now that are maining like 20 non-engine. It's a bit ridiculous. Obviously, this is only a thing with YuGiOh and Snake Eye. Like, YuGiOh now has like no non-engine, man. They have like Ash and Imper, man. But I do like his Elder Duelist, the one sword. We might cut it at some point though to get to 50. Taze Code Talker, how you doing, brother? Lad is a good option, I feel. It's easy to summon negate with enough gas. We can make it super fast. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, it's really good in a grind game. And also, guys, it works under Lost. Like, you can still fusion summon with it under Lost. It chain blocks your Ash Blossom as well. So we're going to show you guys the interactions after these, after these replays. Jake the Mountain Man, I think puppets are in a good spot with everybody on board breakers. They're going to get hella punished. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think branded is in a great position because of that as well, guys. Like, Dark Ruler will be there over Droplet. Wait, what did you cut for Lad? I cut Alba Lenatus because people will not be on Herald number 38 Heraldic. The spell negate that Snake Eye makes right now with 2 level 8s. It's a dragon monster, guys. And if you didn't know, one of the best ways to break a Snake Eye board right now is to go set Albaz, contact fuse off the number 38 rank 8 Xyz, and then also their Flame Burge, and then you make a Alba Lenatus, and then you can attack over their Apo for 2 or 3. If it's for 4, they never make a 4 Apo, so you always attack over the Apo. And you can kill all their monsters they bring off the Flame Burge as well, and then you can just Gimmick Lock from there, so you crack their whole board with 1 Albaz because of Alba Lenatus. So without Snake Eye doing that anymore, though, I don't know how much value we have in running Alba Lenatus right now. In the main deck, extra deck, I could be siding it. I think Tenpai is going to be even better, so don't forget Tenpai, guys. But let's not kid ourselves. Alba Lenatus was never the best card versus Tenpai, and that was a way better card into Snake Eye. Like, if anyone played this format to any extent, it was the I summoned it against Snake Eye way more than I ever did Tenpai, because Draco Stapelia, Borreload, Furious Dragon are the cards you need to beat Tenpai right now, because you pop their field spell and you negate and make their 1 level monster a level 1, and they're dead. They're dead. Like, you make the Chandra level 1, they're dead. Like, I don't know. Also, it's a continuous effect. Remember that, guys. So, like, once it's already negated on the Stapelia, if they... And I pop their field spell before it even happens, so obviously they could... Let's just say they get to a second one, because that's, like, the issue. If they activate another Sangan summoning when they already have the Stapelia counter, their effects are still negated because it's a continuous effect. If the field spell's already up and it's unaffected, I cannot put a Stapelia counter on it because it is unaffected at that point. That's how continuous effects work in that case. And I'll have that in my branded ruling series coming up. We're going to be doing that very soon. Also, 50 people watching right now. Y'all are the goats. Y'all are bringing back the energy to these Monday live streams. I really do appreciate it. Info's getting everyone hyped. So let's get right into this replay. So, guys, this is me going second against Fiend Smith Snake Eye. I'm going to show both hands that he is also on Fiend Smith Snake Eye Kashtira. So, it's already a bad matchup for me. He starts off Birth, Snake Eyes Oak, Witch, Droplet, and Snake Eyes Ash. He'll go Snake Eyes Ash. Obviously, we have no interactions. I'm not about to start main decking. I'm not about to start main decking hand traps and branded. I'm not prepared for that point. Like, you could always, like, maybe main deck Nib. And, like, honestly, you guys will see Nib would be crazy on this board. So it's something to consider. He obviously sets the original, but, like, guys, I don't know if exactly at this point you would Nib. But, yeah, no, he keeps lagging out. But a lot of times Nib would have just kind of... I mean, obviously he would go Flameburge there and then continue to go off, but he isn't making an Appaloosa for a while. So yeah, no, if we nibbed there, like, that might have been kind of cute, but then he does Fiend Smith combos kind of quickly to kind of speed up the process. He goes into Closed Moon of the Sky, which is the new card, which allows you to go in with any 2 effect monsters into Fiend Smith combo. So he's able to make the Requiem off of that, and then he's able to special summon out the Fiend Smith that way, and then he's able to equip Requiem to the Fiend Smith, and then link off for 3 for a Selene. This is if you don't have hand traps, it's scary. It really is, because their end boards are way better than they were now. That's what you guys gotta realize. Like, a Droplet does not crack this board anymore when it used to. So now he doesn't even need to go into number 38. He goes into the Sequentia, which is the Link 2. It just requires a light Fiend monster. And obviously through the Fiend Smith. And this allows him to just start fusion summoning, which gets him into the rank 6 plays if he wants to, or just more Link extension. And he's, like, kind of debating at this point if he's going into Beatrice or not. And he does go into Beatrice right here. I think he goes back, though. No, okay, no. Beatrice sends Fenrir, goes Birth, revives Fenrir. It's like, okay. So, yeah, no. And then he has... And you guys know, Birth is already a crazy card against Branded. At this point, though, I'm feeling good. Like, right? Like, I have the Dark Ruler. As long as he's not main decking FTK, which... Let's be real, the more I think about it, and I know I was dooming a bit last week about the FTK and Snake Eye, I don't think people are going to be running it, honestly. It's really bricky. And then also, loses to a single hand trap the actual FTK, so, like, you'll just be stuck doing regular combo that's a little gimped because you tried to go through one avenue that literally loses to a single hand trap. So, definitely something to consider. 57 people watching, y'all are crazy. So he goes into the Fenrir, into Link off Sequentia, and he goes into the Fiend. See, this is why it's crazy, because the Fiend Smith plays get him into the Promethean Princess. Like, he didn't need to have any Snake Eye cards in order to do that, because this card's 2 effect monsters. Konami just knows what they're doing, guys. They are making everything generic as all hell, and he goes into the Raging Phoenix line, so it basically really makes it difficult to prop his board. Like, I actually, even though I have a Dark Ruler, this is not an easy situation to crack his board. Look at this. He has a Droplet, Kashtira Birth, Fenrir slotted with an IP Masquerena, and then Appaloosa with a field spell with a Zelantis. Like, what am I doing to break this? Like, I don't even main deck Dark Ruler. Like, at the time I was playing this, I was like, Raul, why are you're just hating on Branded with this build, because the Kashtira cards are really good against Branded. Like, that's why I feel like Kashtira was even running, or Snake Eye was even running the Kashtira cards last format, because it just crushes Branded. They go Unicorn Call Sanctifier. It's like, oh, okay, now I'm just like, I can't break your board. So now I just go with first action Dark Ruler, obviously, because he has the Flame Birds, the IP, Zealantis, Appaloosa. So he has 4 effects on board. I'm just like, there's no point in waiting it out because anything I do here can be interacted with one of his cards. If I go Fusion Deployment into anything, he'll just go IP, make SP, and then start playing. Appaloosa just stops the Lubellion. I could go Allure, but I want to make my Mercurier live, so it's just Dark Ruler, and obviously Birth isn't going to do anything at this point. So then we go Allure. Oh, no, and then I misclick it. We go Deployment here. I felt like was the best decision. I don't know if I play this exactly optimally. We can kind of go through this because with this hand I have a lot of gas, so I'm like, I could either go Albaz here and contact fuse off Flameburge, or sorry, make a Mirror Jade. That might have been my biggest misplay here, because if I made a Mirror Jade here off of the Albaz off deployment, I would be able to be in a way better position if I get hand trapped, because if I think I know this is a Fenrir, but like obviously this is a droplet, so I need ways to play around it. I don't have access to Cartesia here, but I do through the Mercurier. So I think the play for sure actually was make Albaz, then make Mirror Jade, because then I would be able to start just at least have a body on board, and then I could go through the Boral line with Branded Fusion. But you guys see me go Cartesia, which I think is a weaker play, but you guys still see I'm able to play it out. So obviously on the summon he slots Fenrir. That's fair. So now I have to contend with a Fenrir and a Birth. And obviously a Promethea Princess, which I don't forget about. I would never do that. And then we go Lubellion effect. He can't negate that now. And that Saronir is going to be pretty good, all things considered. I'm like, I could just go over one of his Fenrir at this point if I want to, but then we go Allure of Darkness. We resolve the Mercurier. That's why we love Allure of Darkness. It unbricks the Mercurier and then gets you infinite extension off of this. This is also why I'm running Branded Sword, because like if I'm using Allure of Darkness to dig through my deck, and then using Branded Sword in a way to also just make so that my advantage tree line just like stays afloat, if that makes sense, because you're giving up a lot of advantage to break a Snake Eye board, so you're gonna need to play your resource game as a Branded Duelist extraordinarily tightly. Make sure you're always having cards in hand, and that's why a 60 card build, I was saying before, might still be the play for this format, because even though there's Droll, you need card advantage to break these boards. The issue with 60 cards, though, guys, you'll see is you just don't see Dark Ruler. like you don't see Dark Ruler, frankly. So you go Albion. Obviously dump the Albaz at this point. I'm like, I can just like quem out the Albaz. That was kind of my thought process. Also, I do have the Brandon in red. That's the thing. When you draw Brandon in red, you kind of start thinking differently on your sons and sets up. So like, I was already gonna get to Albaz one way or another through red. But I think I was because now he has the droplet, which I should have, like I said, if a Snake Eye player has a face down card that is unknown, it's gonna be a droplet or an imperm 100% of the time if it's game 1. So that's something you can read as a duelist that I kind of just played into a little bit, which like I knew it was, but you guys can see my hand. I can go thrust for Branded Fusion. I know that he doesn't have a Ash, so it's fine. And I also have Brand Red, which I chain here to try to, I think I tried to do a Guardian Chimera play actually. Or no, okay, I let that happen. Because that's what I was kind of thinking of doing. I was like, oh, I could go Guardian Chimera here and then pop the Birth. Oh yeah, also, I could have just gone Mercurier Search Kit. This was like, I did really weird lines. I didn't even go Branded Fusion here. Or no, I did, because I go Thrust. I have to go Thrust here for Branded Fusion. Yeah, no. That's the next game. You guys will see I do a really weird line next game. Okay, we go Branded in red, get the Albaz. And then we can go into Guardian Chimera. We get a draw 2 here. He doesn't have any. I mean, he can obviously go. He can go Promethea. He can go Fenrir as well. So he's kind of debating. He goes Birth as well. So he banishes those. So that's fine. And then we get Luber Goldsark, which isn't great, frankly, but it's fine. Just gives us more card advantage. I'm able to pop the Fenrir before it's able to really do anything. I don't know why you didn't chain the Fenrir. I feel like that was just... that was probably a misplay, but it's fine. Oh no, he I think he did, right? No, he didn't. So, and then I go Thrust, obviously, for Branded Fusion now. And we have the Fusion Duplication, which does give us, like, I can just set up a board that cracks this and then go Gimmick Puppet on Duplication, which is the only way to stop this deck from going off. You actually need to Gimmick Puppet them. Like, you never get rid of most of their board. You have to half break their board, or you can, and then you can OTK them, but it's kind of hard. They have so much advantage through Flamebird. That's why it's, like, almost impossible to get to an Albaz before Flamebird. I could have gone Albaz there. You know what? The Albaz might have been really good there to make Mirror Jade, then banish the Flamebird. So that was also definitely why I should have gone Fusion Duplication or Deployment into Albaz. But you guys see I send Asteria plus Albaz. We go Albion because we already have Lubellion. Lubellion's banished, so like the next best send is Asteria. Like I could send a Cartesia, but Asteria at least has a graveyard effect. So hopefully that comes up. And then we go Lubellion here, which can trigger Asteria by pitching the Gold Sark. Then we fuse back to make a Mirror Jade, obviously. We don't have the Lubellion, but we can fuse off. And then also I trigger Asteria because a card was sent to the graveyard. Asteria triggers when a spell or trap card is sent to your graveyard to activate a monster effect while this is in your graveyard. That means when a monster sends a spell or trap card for cost. So that means Albaz, Lubellion, and a few other cards can do that in this deck, Lubellion being the best way. And then we get Asteria, which is an E-Telly for Quem. So he has to go, he goes Princess on that, which I'm like, okay, I'll just chain Cartesia then. Oh no, I don't chain Cartesia. I guess I say never mind on that. And then he goes Raging Phoenix. I chain Mirror Jade. Oh no, I do Mirror Jade after the Raging Phoenix. I went ahead and then it was either between the Raging Phoenix or the Promethea, because the Raging Phoenix could kill any of my guys at this point, but I have Fusion Duplication, so I can obviously just get rid of the Raging Phoenix. So I'm just kind of playing unoptimally. Well, no, okay, so I'm debating right now on the Rage. Yeah, okay, so I do the Promethea. We go Battle Phase. We destroy everything because obviously they're still negated from Dark Ruler, getting around the Zealantis Battle Phase effect, which comes up so much more this format. I'm gonna read chats after this game, guys. Don't worry. Or after this game one. So now we go Grand Guignol, Grand Guignol effect. I don't know. Oh no, I can't do that because he did droplet my Cartesia. I was like, oh yeah, I failed. So yeah. And then I set Duplication, which just gives us all of the follow-up we need. We also have Asteria coming back at any point, and Titanclad in the end phase to get us a Quem that we didn't get off the Asteria. So now we go Quem effect, set up with Albaz. And that gives us so much. I'm pretty sure I'm sending Albaz at this point. Yeah, I send Albaz. Oh no, okay. Okay, I put back the Albaz, send the Cartesia because I want to discard so I can make a Lubellion at the very least with my Duplication. If like worse comes to worse, it's always good to have a discard in hand. And so he draws Imperm, which is a terrible top deck in this situation, having Birth on board. And I do have Duplication, so that means I do have access to Gimmick Lock at this point. So I believe I let him go main 1 for some reason, though. That might have been a misplay because, like I said, the Dark Rulers can be pretty real. But Dark Ruler doesn't lose the Gimmick Lock here 100%. So he goes Birth, and I just chain Cartesia here. Oh, yeah. So the Mirror Jade's, like, not live, so I want to recycle the Mirror Jade with Quem to just, like, banish the Raging Phoenix. So that's what I'm doing right now before I do the Gimmick Lock. And then I can go Quem effect and Grand Goyle effect. Get back the Mirror Jade, and then I can send the Gimmick Puppet off the Quem, or the Grand Goyle that I just made. Fenrir effect is now gonna target something into Mirror Jade. I just chained Mirror Jade here because it's the smartest thing to banish, you know. Like, Fenrir does get over Mirror Jade, guys, like, fun facts, so. And so I banished the Raging Phoenix, so no more. He can't just attack over Sanctifier when I go for Gimmick Lock, and then I immediately go for the Gimmick Lock. You just kind of have to take it at that point. Like, there's no way this is game one. He has any hand traps that are relevant for this kind of thing. So I hard make Sanctifier. I already have the Gimmick Puppet in graveyard. We're chilling. I could have gone Lubellion, but I have no way to proc Asteria, and that would clog up my field, so it doesn't really matter. Then I go Albion Sanctifier into Gimmick Puppet into Albaz. Then Albaz is going to use its effect. Oh no, I do Quem, because Quem's just going to be able to use its effect. I summon Puppet in attack position because this is game one. There's no way in. Plus, like, Birth turns off as evenly, so we're good. And that's the only reason why you would put Gimmick Puppet in defense, is because you want to play around evenly. There's a lot of scenarios where you don't need to play around evenly, and this is one of them, like game one. So I just on the Shrouded Dragon, not really a better target. I kind of win this board state from here. He just goes Fenrir, normal summon, which is kind of funny, and then I tried to resolve Gold Sark, but apparently it was too early. So funny enough. And I just go attack position, go battle phase, attack over all of his things. I have to also crash a Quem, so I have a space, so that's why it looks weird, but like I basically just crash a Quem here. I go back on that because I need to be able to do that in order to. A lot of the time, guys, you could just lose to clogging up your own board in a awkward game state like this, so obviously you just have to do what you have to do and crash the Quem. And he's almost dead here. We start getting some numbers wrong, he just scoops, so yeah. Let me read some, but yeah, it shows, guys, it shows you that drawing Dark Ruler really helps. I'm not trying to, like, we need to show you guys how to break boards with Engine as well. It's just so much harder, so that's why I think running a low to the ground, like, 50 card build is really good next format, because we want to, be able to see, like, our good cards, you know, seeing Dark Ruler specifically. Droplet's pretty good too still. Not really. Like, if you only have a Droplet, you're probably cooked against Snake Eye, if I'm being 100% honest. I think Droplet just helps with, like, like Thrust. Like, having Thrust or Drooler really helps, so. It's something I could run with maybe evenly in the main deck. I've debated that over, like, Droplet. You guys see my going second hand here? That's pretty nuts, but we'll go into it. I'm going to read some chats, though. How's everyone doing? Ochisama, this format's going to go crazy. 67 people watching, guys. Make sure to leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying the stream. We're going over how to beat these new scary info decks with Branded. We're going to be going over everything you need to know the next 2 weeks. All the goo. Owen McLaughlin, Shirley White is mandatory to run Lad, given the restrictions regarding levels with Lubellion and Albion. Banishment is better because you can do it through a one-card gimmick, or one-card Branded Fusion combo. Also, how are you doing, Owen? Channel member in the chat. Renee Wilkson. I think you are. If not, I'm sorry. Renee Wilkson, adding to my other comment. I play mostly Chimera with Branded Fusion, but adding Bestial next format as they are going to hit a lot of decks. Actually, Bestials, like, they sound nice next format, but actually they aren't that great because next time sorry, I lost my train of thought. I don't think the Bestials are going to be that good. They don't really hit the Fiend Smith. Like, you can stop the Fiend Smith level 6, but it's like they're going to still do full combo. And Raul, I know, I just want to show them, like, what it looks like and why you kind of need to be running Dark Ruler. Like, we gotta start basics, you know? So, like, and I want to show you guys, like, why Droll might not be the answer, because I do go Droll here on Bonfire. He doesn't play around Droll because, like, in my theory for running Droll as a Branded player, they won't expect it, right? Like, they're not going to play around Droll against a 60 card Branded deck. So I think that running Droll could be pretty spicy in my opinion. However, the thing is that I go neg 1 and he has a Droplet still, which if you see, I sided in 12 cards. So I can't tell if this was an issue of oversiding or just Droll being not the play. But you guys will see how this turn plays out. Also, Raul, how are you doing, bro? Not Chris. Even over Impermanent Engine, you always win with Brandon going second. Really? You think so? Snake Eyes' only scary thing is Beatrice at D barrier. Yeah, they do it off the blue tier card. Yeah, the blue tier card, they can FTK us, but guys, like, we've been playing through D barrier since last format. That's not as bad as, like, what I was kind of expecting people to be doing elsewise. So I go Cartesia, Branded Fusion, to Lubellion. I feel like my misplay maybe was doing that. I probably should have maybe went into Lubellion, but then I go Albion to Lubellion, discard the Evenly, and then I go, he droplets me here, and he droplets me for 3. Because he has the Flame Burge, like a champ. Like, he just has everything. He has the droplet plus the 3. Freaking... It's so broken. So, like, I actually, by all means, should have probably won this game. It's just that Raul's built different. Shout out to my man, Raul, guys. Guys, go get a coaching from Raul, man. He knows the info format inside and out, and we're going to have him on the channel very soon. I love my man. I just want to give him some shouts because he is one of the best branded players I know by far. And he, I've been learning a lot from him personally about info. So, like, a lot of this is, like, just, like, in thanks to Raul. So, Raul's is the GOAT. So we go into, he goes into original Snake Eyes and Snake Eyes Oak. So it's kind of not looking great at this point, actually, because he has so much follow-up, and I can't achieve a gimmick lock here now. I can put Albion in the graveyard, but I can't go Cartesia. I can kill his monsters at least and give him 2,500. So, and then I can go Lubellion into the Branded Lost, which is, like, okay. It doesn't really give me all that much. And then I go Albion into Retribution because I was like, I don't have anything. I could go Opening or Red, but Red is not live. Opening gives me a Quem, which gives me an Albaz, which is not live. And then, which it could be live. I could summon the Quem, then go Cartesia effect, get a draw, and then make Albaz live. That might have been the play instead of Retribution. Because but like, I knew he has the original, so I can stop the original. However, Raul plays this masterfully. He draws a Druid Swarm, which I feel like helps him a lot in this situation. And then Druid Swarm into Albion. Yeah, which puts up a body. Like, he could just go a Balphase right here if he wanted, but that doesn't really achieve much. I just chain Cartesia on that. We get the Albion, or we get the Grangoyle, because there's nothing better to make. Like, I can't even make a Stapelia. I think if I could make a Stapelia there, I would have made it. But we just send the Alba Lenatus, and then search the Mercurier, because Mercurier is live now. But Raul's gonna play through this like a champ. Like, he knows I have Retribution. He knows I have Mercurier in hand. So I'm gonna be able to. What he does is he links off for IP, and then just goes, or SP, and SP is going to banish the Lubellion, which takes off, like, that makes Mercurier not live, and now all I have is Grangor Wignall, which is not great. Like, that was actually, I should have played around the SP a little night. I thought he was just gonna try to go for OTK, so I wasn't really thinking about it. And then he just goes full combo from here. Oh, no, I can go Grand Guignol now into Quem. But then he goes SP into that, which gives me Albion. Yeah, and so, no, I just have nothing from there. So I had, like, 4 non-engine and still couldn't break that board. I think I probably sequenced incorrectly, but also that's just something to be consider. And also don't overside against this deck. You still need to see your engine. You need to see, like, Dark Ruler plus, like, one other board breaker, aka like a Talents or Thrust. Usually a Dark Ruler will just do it, though, against this deck. I could just go Dark Ruler, but yeah, then we go game 3. Nib over Ash sounds good to me. Nib is good against bad players, the next format. And that's no offense to the players, like, it will hit, but, like, in terms of Snake Eye players, because, like, good Snake Eye players will not die by a single Nib, so we need more hand traps to back up the Nib, and we don't have the room to do that. Gabe Headley, I want, like, DB, but it's so slow. I agree. Also, how's it going, Gabe Headley? New channel member in the chat, brother. How you doing? But yeah, no, I think that, I've been learning a lot through playing DB. I do recommend it. You'll get used to it. Just power through it. You kind of have to see the value in DB. There's a lot of value in DB. You get to meet a lot of good players, get a lot of respect in the community, all that fun stuff. I need to get some water super quickly, guys, but let me know what you guys are thinking about this game, what you guys think of this next format. I'll read off the chats when I get back in 1 minute. How's Super Poly next format? Not very good. I mean, it's okay. Super Poly's pretty good. Like, okay, you can get their Diary. It's pretty good against Yubel, right? It's extraordinarily good against Yubel if you have Yubel, the Loving Defender in your extra deck, because you just fuse off their whole board. So I will say Super Poly is amazing against Yubel. It's amazing against Memento. It's not great against Snake Eye. So those are things you have to consider. Mackenzie, is Eclipse a good card to main deck? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good against Yubel. It's decent against Snake Eye. Also, it's like an imperm, or it's Called by the Grave for imperm going first, right? So it's pretty good. Guys, make sure you're subscribed already. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers already. Make sure you left a like on the stream too. Giving away the post info goo. Let's try hit 50 likes this stream, guys. I know we can do it. It's a big stream. We're at 24 right now. If we hit 50 likes, I will show off some actual combos. Post info. I will show you guys the lag combos after this. I did promise that, so don't worry. I do remember that. And we will have a lad video too, just like separately going up on the channel, so don't worry. Going over like what a lad list looks like, plus all the ways to get it out. When do I get my mod badge? My mod badge, says Long John Silver. When we need a mod for sure. It's kind of like on an on-need basis. Like as the Discord gets bigger, we will obviously need more mods. So, Long John Silver, let's cook some water goo. Renee Wilkson, subscribe. Thank you very much, Renee. Appreciate it. Dude Man 209, is should all window worth running? I think it's gonna be worth running if Sanctifier gets banned, because we could run App Cologne and send and search Schism and then just set up, and it's a 1-card window, right? Zelda Duelist, got it. Thanks, dude. Is it the same? Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. The Year of the Waterbender, Lamau. Long John Silver, Rise is just around the corner, my brother. Dude, man, what about Banishment to bring back Albion? To banish, Masquerade first Stapelia? To bring back Albion to banish, I do like Banishment for that, for sure. Like, I think Banishment's very good in the mirror match for that exact scenario. GZ1K on the Twitch chat, guys. Guys, we're also streaming on Twitch. 10 people watching on Twitch. Exclamation point Twitch in the chat if you want to also watch on Twitch. If you want to support the channel, though, watch on YouTube. You can become a channel member today for $5 a month. You get access to my coaching group chat where you guys can ask me any questions about your deck, send in your deck list. You also get all my early deck lists before anybody else. You also get access to playing in all the member remote duel streams, so that's always very fun. Also, you get all your names at the end of all my videos. So and also you're just supporting the channel for $5 a month, and a bunch of really cool mod badges, or sorry, channel member badges plus emojis. So great way to support the channel. Also, you can always super chat. Also, use my TCG Player affiliate link, and then use my Whatnot affiliate link. And yeah, guys, all those links are down below. You can also do exclamation point TCG, exclamation point, all that fun stuff. Zelda Duelist. GZ1K, super probably good at my locals because 2 other best players being a hero player and a Sprite player. Yeah, no, what do you super poly against Sprite? I'm curious. Because if he keeps making a board that's super polyable against you, he probably shouldn't be. Did I miss the discussion of Laddle? No, the discussion of Laddle's after this. Owen, any side of Fabled Branded Whitewoods list that Raul was cooking in that combo? I don't know about the Fabled build, but we're going to be doing that build deck list on the Whitewoods branded list very soon. So, okay, here's the last game against Raul. Obviously, I'm going first, so it's looking pretty good at that point. He does have an Ash, though, so it's definitely going to get awkward. I don't go through Branded Fusion here, though. I do such an awkward line. Like, I don't know why I did this, essentially. What I could have done is searched Kit off the Mercurier, and then Kit could have gotten me the Branded Fusion. I just had the duplication. I felt like I had a really nice branded and red line, so I just felt like playing it like that. But I actually don't resolve Branded Fusion this turn, which is kind of insane. I do make the Mirror Jade, though, and I make Gargoyle. No, I make the Sanctifier, because, like, so I have at least 3 interruptions between these guys, which I felt like wasn't bad, plus the duplication. It wasn't a terrible hand, and I played around Ash. I played around Ash, which is insane, right? Like, I did actually play around Ash. So, Raul said that was incorrect, though. I should have went Mercurier, search the Kit, because if he does, if he has 1 interruption, like if he draws a Bestial here, for the Sanctifier, it's not great, right? Because he can just play through Mirror Jade, he can play through, but then I still have the duplication. Like, I'm just showing him because he's right now roasting me in the game. That's why we were pausing, but he obviously doesn't draw anything. So yeah, that's kind of what we do. So just trying to play through hand traps is always a good thing, but also remember, guys, resolve Branded Fusion, because my duplication was not live. I mean, I could have, my theory was I could have gotten to it through Quem, but I don't know. It probably wasn't the best way to play it out, but that's kind of to show you guys the matchup versus Fiend Smith. Now I'm going to show you guys the Yubel matchup, then we're going to talk Lad. In this game, okay, this game's funny. It's against my my man, Master of Logic. Now, I do go second here, too. Alright, so Vicious Soul. Did I miss the discussion? Or no, I already read that. Oh, and no, I read that. Dude Man, Into does another Floodgate 2, rebranded Whitewoods. Yeah, exactly. That's a very good card. It's something that you guys should consider next format if you're running, like, Whitewoods cards. Long John Silver, I need to test against these guys with my water decks. Alright, guys, so I'm going second again because I just want to be able to break a board. He starts with Droll and Lockbird, Fiend Smith, Yubel, Dark Beckoning Beast, and Yubel Terra Incarnate. He has Droll, though. That's devastating. If he doesn't discard it, I'm looking pretty bad, though, because I have to search to get all my advantage here. He just automatically makes a Phantom of Yubel, which is something you guys have to realize. Yubel can go first action, make a Phantom of Yubel if they just have 2 Yubel monsters in their, or a Yubel monster in their hand, which is like most of their hands. So you really have to be careful, because if you have if you need to do something in main phase, you are going to get cooked. So, I mean, I couldn't really do anything about that, but like, you guys will see it bites me in the ass in the 3rd game. So Fiend Smith gets activated. Then we see Tractus. Shout out to Long John Silver watching the chat. Moon of the Closed Sky. He does. So if you guys didn't know, the Yubel deck also does the Fiend Smith combo, because they can obviously very much make the Moon of the Closed Sky. Any deck that can make this card should probably be playing Fiend Smith. And so he's just going through the lines to make a Beatrice, I believe. Spin back the Requiem, then he makes a Beatrice. Beatrice is going to send the Samsara Lotus, which obviously is a search in the end phase, or gets to spec itself back, and it's also an interruption, which I didn't realize. It's an effect negate on your opponent's turn, so you guys have to be wary of that. Also, he gets Nightmare Pain out. This is the best card in the whole Yubel deck. So if you get rid of Nightmare Pain, their board gets significantly weaker. And he does get rid of the Droll, at least, so we are kind of chilling. If he kept the Droll, I was kind of cooked. Not gonna lie. Like, I don't know if that was a misplay. But, like, he obviously didn't know I was on. Well, you're not supposed to know I'm unbranded, but... Yo, Krabs TV, we're watching our replay, bro. We're gonna watch you cook on Yubel. Just bought cards on TCG Player using your affiliate link. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. How you doing, brother? We're just going over the Yubel and Snake Eye matchup. We just went over Raul's game against me. I'm just showing them the power of Yubel and kind of what you can do going second as a branded player. But, dude, you cooked me if you kept that Droll. I don't know if you had to discard it or not. Like, maybe you could have kept it. So, yeah, now then he goes Apo. So this is what the end board is kind of looking like for Yubel at this point. he's obviously able to go gruesome Gravescormer, then go Shivara here, and then link off into a SP Little Knight, right? Oh no, he goes into Muckracker, and then he's going Lacrimosa to burn for 12. Which I don't think I do in the end, and then he's able to set the Abominable Chamber of Unchained, which is how he's able to play or get back the Unchained Soul of Rage as another interruptions on top of the Yama. So there's so many interruption pieces with like Yubel, Samsara, Lotus as an effect negate, plus Apo for 3. Another, this card just extends him infinite because it lets him destroy a Yubel monster out of his decks and negate my effect effectively. This is follow-up because this allows him to basically special summon a Fiend monster with 0 from graveyard. So this card essentially allows you to have infinite grind game if you don't get rid of it. So I kind of have to work on getting Nightmare Pain and opening off the board at this point. I do have a weird board state though, because I have Gimmick Puppet, Allure of Darkness. This was probably a misplay, I'm not gonna lie. I should have banished the Albaz here. This was my misplay. So you should not banish Gimmick Puppet. I know that sounds weird, but like if you aren't able to crack the board, which is hard to do against Yubel, it's just like, especially when I know I'm gonna go normal summon Quem, it's not great. So I think I made a misplay on that. I could have definitely just shut him out game one because I know I can crack his board, but I'm not going to be able to kill him. So getting the Gimmick Puppet is pretty imperative, I think. So I do go Droplet for Apo on Yubel and Quem when he goes Apo on Quem. So that's kind of like, I don't know if I should have done that either. I just had to because like I couldn't have gone Lubellion under Apo. He would have just negated it. So that's just kind of what happened there. And then he goes Lubellion. Or sorry, no, he goes Samsara D Lotus, which is fine. Then I'm able to... Then he's able to go Trap card. I go Thrust, which is good. If I had Evenly here, though, Evenly cooks this whole board. It makes me really want to consider main decking Evenly for Yubel in particular, because if you're able to, like, crack with, like, Thrust, or sorry, with Droplet or Dark Ruler and go Evenly, oh, it's over. It's over. The best 2-card combo in the game. Then I go Talents for 2. Then I already normal summon, so then I can go Saronir, banish the Yama. That should have been banished, but then I go Branded Fusion. Send the Asteria, since I already have Lubellion in the graveyard, into Borreload, because I kind of have to pop the pain. I'm not in a great position, actually, at this point. I do have the Duplication, though, which does at least helps me, but he's able to pop the Lubellion, which isn't great. And then we go Borreload Furious, destroy that, and then we're able to get the Albion in the end phase after saying the Duplication, which does give us a Branded in red, which probably gives us enough follow-up to at least do a Branded or to do a Gimmick Lock, obviously. So because I have the Duplication, that's why Duplication's so important. Like, you should still be siding 3 of that card, in my opinion. That card's gonna be so important going first, playing through interruptions, or even going second. But I was lucky I had in, so I had Mirror Jade, or I go into Mirror Jade, pop that. And, like, that's the thing here, though, because I banished the Gimmick Puppet, so I can't even do the Gimmick Puppet line. So I kind of just have to do what I'm doing here. And I'm able to play through this, but it was so much more difficult if I didn't banish the Gimmick Puppet. I'm still able to, though, because I draw 2. And then I make a Mirror Jade by sending with the Rinbrum in graveyard. I had to send a Rinbrum in graveyard. Oh wait, how did I do that? I'm gonna have to go back. Yeah, Mirror Jade effect. So we go Mirror Jade effect. We're just like kind of going back on a few different plays. It's okay. It's a little confusing, guys. But essentially, I need to get the Mirror Jade in play. I send the Titanclad, but this was a misplay. Also, I shouldn't have banished the Albaz, because I need to keep an Albaz in play in order to crack his board. Like, the play here to break his board is to keep a Albaz in graveyard with a Rinbrum. That's always the play when you don't have Gimmick Puppet in play. So you guys are going to see me go back on that, because I'm like, oh, I see a line where I could have killed you. So because he's able to extend off of here. Oh, no, he still goes into Dire Eyes. So yeah, I think he wins this, actually. Is this not the next game? Okay, yeah, no, I'm thinking of the wrong game. So I'm getting Albalinatus instead. And I get branded Lost here. He has Phantom View Bell plus IRI, but I do have branded Lost. I do. This is, look at this, guys. I have 3 banish gimmick, or 3 banish Albazes. This is where Sword comes in handy, though. This is why I'm talking about Sword comes up in the grind games versus this deck, especially with Allure of Darkness. You kind of just need it because, like, if you have all your Albazes out of play, you're just going to need to get one back if you don't have Shrouded Dragon. Then I'm just able to attack over the Adirai. He negates the Quem, which is fine. Then I go Branded Fusion into the after the Lost. I had to attack over the Dirai because he would have just negated Branded Lost and Fusion. That was a negate too. That card's broken. This card you guys need to be aware of. It's a Fiend Smith plus 2 light Fiend monsters. You can quick effect negate the effects of a number of face-up cards on the field equal to the link ratings of the link monsters equipped to this card. So it's about 2. It's always 2. You're always going to have the Sequentia equipped to it. So he has 2 face-up negates at 1 point. So it's very important in order to get over him. That's why Super Poly is theoretically really good, guys, because you could Super Poly the Dirai, or obviously Super Poly their whole board with Loving Defender. It's just really hard to run Loving Defender in the deck, like, to justify that card space. But guys, right? Like, Loving Defender would crack that whole board with the Super Poly. Full stop. So then I go Fusion Deployment. This is such a slog. Then I go Fallen of Albaz. I'm able to win from this point because of just pure card advantage, I feel like. But it got so much more difficult than it needed to. I'm not going to lie. Then I go into Stepelia and negate the Phantom U-Ball. I shuffle back the Gimmick Puppet at this point, obviously through the Stepelia. So that's fine. And then I go Grand Wignall, send the Gimmick Puppet. Then I go Brandon Red, make the Sanctifier. And then I go Branded Lost, Chain, Sanctifier, summon Branded or Borreload plus the Gimmick Puppet. So I'm able to at least get him through this. It's just like... that misplay with Allure of Darkness probably bit me in the ass, but that also shows you, like, you don't necessarily care about it, because if you just play your grind game correctly doing the Stepelia lines, it's completely fine. And then I go Stepelia, negate, and he just scoops at that point. So we're able to get game 1 after going second, so that's a really good sign, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I was really struggling with 60 card branded, and then I swapped to this 50 card build, and it's been working wonders post info, so I definitely recommend to try it out. BG Toba, Joe, the quality content that we need. How's it going, BJ? Nils Borman, the end board is horrible for what they opened, and they should have known you're unbranded because of 50 cards. You think so? I mean, what could he have opened instead? I had to pitch Droll, otherwise my board was ass. No, I can't go into Spirit since I didn't hard draw it or Samsara. Shout out to Krabs. I do appreciate you testing with me, though. How's it going, Card Limits? What's up, bro? What you up to today? Thanks for always coming through the streams. We have 69 viewers right now, guys. Remember, let's get the like goal up there. We got 35 likes right now. Let's hit 50 likes on the stream. I'll show a nice little combo. We're gonna show off some lag combos too after this, so don't worry. At least the definitive lag combo that you guys probably already know. But I do just want to talk about its application in branded, though. We kind of already did, but we'll do it a little bit more concisely. He's able to just go full combo here. He has also double Ash, which is pretty ridiculous. But I do have Droplet Dark Ruler, so it's looking pretty good, especially with a Luber. But I'm going to need a way to play around the Ash, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I was about to say, Krabs, that end board was like 8 negates. But like Ferret Nils, like if you have like... I mean, I feel like you didn't have the most optimal hand when you're just like doing fam from hand, right? Okay, so I just got... Okay, so I go Dark Ruler first action. He's able to chain Dirai. Then I'm able to go Droplet, chain Dark Ruler on Dirai. You guys are going to see that's going to bite me in the ass a little bit because it makes him 1400 so I can't crash. But it's fine. I negate his all board. But he still gets the Unchained Soul, which is then negated by Dark Ruler. So I can't use its effect. So it's pretty good. I should have won. I feel like I should have won this game somehow. There was probably a line to win this. I was going over this with Raul yesterday. And like, it's such a... Like, I have Tragedy, Albaz, Despia, Luber, and Fusion Deployment. How do I not lose to Ash in this situation? Because I don't have a way to duplication. So it's kind of it's a little tough. Okay, so I go deployment to Cartesia. I go normal summon a Luber. I without thinking about Ashe, I should have been playing around Ashe. I should have went deployment into Albaz, I think. Or I should have went into Grand Goyle. And then maybe, yeah, no, I should have went okay. I should have went Grand Guignol into, okay, so I could have went Albaz here, and then I could have went Cartesia, make Grand Guignol, send the Tragedy, also send Saronir off, so send the Tragedy off the fusion, then with Saronir send Branded Fusion, activate Tragedy, set Branded Fusion, and then I also have a Mirror Jade on board. That was the play, guys. That was the play, because at least I have follow-up through Ashe then. So we go Luber, search the Branded Fusion that's about to get Ashe Blossomed, and that's fine. I go Cartesia, send the Albaz at least. So yeah, no, I could have played this slightly differently. I could have at least had a Mirror Jade at this point. My issue is that I end on a Albion into Mirror Jade, which I have to then banish. Or, yeah, I do the plays a little awkwardly. I have to go, I still get a Mirror Jade, but like, I would have had more advantage doing it elsewise. Also, I have to send, I realize I have to not send Albion here, because he then just goes Dire Eye, sends the Albion, so I'm just going to send Titanclad. And then he doesn't use Dire Eye. Oh, no, he does. But I just scoop at that point, because like he has way too much advantage. He has so much follow-up, because those continuouses just give him so much more follow-up, so it's just like whatever at that point. I'm going to show you guys a game that I we went back on it, and I basically, well, you guys will see. Nightfall TCG, what up, brother? 51. I was 52, my man. I want to get to 50, but you inspired me with the 50 card build, because I was running 60 for the longest time post info, and it was not working. I just wasn't seeing my Dark Rulers, and I just kept seeing your replays Dark Ruler Nightfall, where you just keep drawing Dark Ruler evenly. I'm like, I need to just harness that energy he's mining here. I hope you're doing well with Nightfall. And how in any world do you lose this? Deploy Cart, Aluber, add High Spirits. I sided out High Spirits. I sided out High Spirits. Yeah, you waste a lot of stuff, says Nightfall TCG. Yeah, no, I think there was, like, we were going back on it. I think there was actually two different ways. Yeah, if I didn't side out High Spirits, and then if I at least made a Mirror Jade there, I would have gotten a couple more cards. I think you just said the pet that I did see in end phase could have done way differently. The sequencing, fair enough. Search High Spirits. Yeah, I took out the High Spirits. I'm a scrub. So we go Allure Darkness, Tragedy. I mean, we're going first, guys, but you guys will see it's actually kind of a grind game here. And you guys will see a mistake that I'm going to have to point out so you guys don't make it. So I go Allure, send Sword, since I already have Kitten. So, like, Sword's completely alive. We go Quem. Quem's just going to send the Albaz just in case, so I can summon the Cartesia. And then I go Branded Fusion. He goes Ashe on my Branded Fusion, then I chain Cartesia. Cartesia's going to... Then I chain Sword to then fuse off the kit. So I don't have to fuse off the Quem, and then I go Grand Guignol to then send the Albion. And then duplication is then set because I have a Branded Fusion. Did you guys notice I went 3 Allure Darkness, like low-key, 3 Allure Darkness. Allure Darkness is nuts, guys. I went draw 7 there. That's why, like, yeah, no. Yeah, this list has my energy to Allure 3 times. So, yeah, no. We then go into Cartesia there, which is fine. Because Quem triggered off of the Grand Guignol, so, and then we can go end phase, set the red off the Albion, which is pretty good with 2 duplications. He goes standby phase. Okay, this is what you guys don't do in game 3 at least, right? In the game that really matters against Yubel, do not gimmick puppet in main phase. You will lose. So we're gonna tease this out a little bit, because I could have went duplication in draw phase. I have Imperm, so I'm able to play, or sorry, I have Brandon in red, so I'm able to play around Imperm 100% of the time. Instead, I let him go main phase to Dark Ruler me, main phase to make the Phantom of Yubel, I temporarily was just like, I just didn't think of the Phantom of Yubel as a threat at that point. Or I didn't think he would be able to just hard make it. But obviously with his hand, he just does that because I have so many. He doesn't want me to go gimmick lock, so he puts me on better have so many interruptions, which I do. But then I go main phase, or he goes main phase, and he makes Phantom of Yubel. And in any world, I definitely should have won this game, and this is kind of where we end the game, because there should have been a gimmick lock in draw phase, and also, at this point, I could go branded in red, like, make a Guardian Chimera, force the Yubel, and then go duplication, then make gimmick puppet. So that is the play as well. So that's kind of just what we came to the conclusion of. Any day of the week, I should have probably went draw phase. But also having the red in duplication, if I only had one of those options, I should have definitely went draw phase. But also there were way more options there to do because of the fact I had red in duplication. I can just force out this first Phantom of Yubel, but definitely could have just played around that a little bit. Crabs, but GG, very, GG, brother. Destamines, hello, how's it going, bro? Yeah, I always keep one high spirits just in case they debarrier. Yeah, it's a very, I always regret it every time I side out the high spirits, so it happens. Jake the Mountain Man, what's up, bro? I'm going to try my damnedest to my puppets wrapped up this weekend. That's the sneak peek. Is the sneak peek this weekend? I think it's in 2 weeks, right? Oh, you need the other gimmick puppet cards. Good luck with that, brother. Make a post on the trades and sales. Maybe people have them. When are you looking at Decklists? We're going to be looking at Decklists after the Light and Darkness Dragon. After we go over, like, the combo with that. GZ1K, Decimine's Patchwork Engine just works just not as good as Apprentice. This is still Puppet, though? Yeah, no, this is still Puppet, 100%. So, let's... I'm gonna pull up a replay. Shout out to my boy Raul. Is this the one? I have to make sure. Oh no, that's not it. Here, this is just a replay against somebody you guys can watch for right now with Raul. Oh, this is post info. I don't. Yeah. Do I want to send out? Yeah, I don't want to leak anything just in case. Yeah, just getting these replays up. 1 second, guys. We are also going to be roasting Decklists tonight, guys. So make sure to post your Decklists down in the Decklist category of my Discord. If you want me to roast it. So, okay, cool. I think I found the combo. Great. Oh, nope, those are more. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, I'm just gonna throw up a game right now as I'm looking for these replays for Light and Darkness Dragon, guys. Or we could go to here. Oh, we can look at this. This is really cool.
What's to come after the Infinite?
Well, I'm waiting.
Maybe it's looking better at that point. And let's look at some of these new cards that they announced recently. We got Rage of the Abyss. This is I sorted these from old news to new cards. There's some of these that literally were announced, I think, this morning. So this one is something that some of you may have already seen because this was announced 2 days ago. This is another wave of Whitewood support. I say wave, but it's only 1 card. I wonder if there's going to be more in Rise of the Abyss or Rage of the Abyss, sorry. Obviously, I'm looking forward to good Whitewood support. It's an archetype that, even though I have not played it yet, I anticipate it to be very fun and right up my alley. So I'm hoping that this card is good. It's a quick play spell. You can only use the first and second effect each once per turn. Tribute a Synchro monster, then target a face-up card on the field. Negate its effects until the end phase. Then, if you tributed a Whitewood Synchro monster at activation, you can special summon an illusion monster from your graveyard. And then it has the second effect that all of the Whitewood spell traps have, which is if
honestly. Also, this first combo was already out there, so I think I forgot who it was. I think it was like Dark Paladin or someone who released this combo at first. So, yeah, no, I think that Lad is very good in branded. I think it's going to be a lot better if Sanctifier gets banned, but I do think it has a lot of applications in our deck, especially if we get like reason not to run Alba Ladatus. I think it has a lot of good aspects with it making branded banishment a lot better. It also works under branded lost, which is really important. It also chain blocks your branded fusion, so they can't ash it. Oh. Okay. All right, apparently my mic was out. But hi guys, we are back. Ahmed Ehab, what's up? Replaced with hand traps just for now. You're missing Nightmare Apprentice. Can I replace it with something else? I don't know, to be honest, if that card's replaceable. It's not really replaceable. I would just say, maybe run a branded engine instead, you know. A Quem, a Cartesia, Albazes with branded fusions kind of thing. That's kind of what I would recommend. So yeah, guys, we're going to show you the one card combo with, that you guys need to know. This is kind of why, this is exactly, oh, is this the one card combo? Oh no, we're showing you, I guess it's, High Spirits plus Albion, with opening. We go Luber, wait, what? Okay, this is not the replay I was looking at. Might be. Alright, so... Alright, my bad. I just baited everybody. Still looking for combos.
Let's look at some new cards. Let's look at what's to come after the Infinite Forbidden. Maybe it's looking better at that point. And let's look at some of these new cards that they announced recently. We got Rage of the Abyss. This is I sorted these from old news to new cards. There's some of these that literally were announced, I think, this morning. So this one is something that some of you may have already seen because this was announced 2 days ago. This is another wave of Whitewood's support. I say wave, but it's only one card. I wonder if there's going to be more in Rise of the Abyss, or Rage of the Abyss, sorry. Obviously, I'm looking forward to good Whitewood support. It's an archetype that, even though I have not played it yet, I anticipate it to be very fun and right up my alley. So I'm hoping that this
we're just going to show it off.
It's a quick play
ourselves.
spell. You can only use the first and
yeah,
second
because I have
pick.
the rest of the replay, so I'm just going to show it off right now. So we're going to go into a solo. I don't know why I was waiting on that. So we're going to show off the standard combo just with branded fusion. Let's see. Let's search branded fusion. So hot in New York, man. Alright, so branded fusion will get us into, I believe,
this card is...
I'm gonna throw on some music while we're doing this. I mean, you guys also probably already know this combo. I want to show off the more heady combos, but I feel like you guys need to know this combo in particular first. Get the Lubellion. And then make Albion. Also, I'm just going to make sure we have a dark in hand, so... Because you obviously have to have a dark in rotation as well to make the Lubellion line live. So we're going to discard this, banish, make the Lubellion effect. Also, I'm messed up with my zones, obviously. And then we can spin back the Albaz. And then we can go Mirjid, and then we can tribute over, make the Lubellion. How many copies of a Luber do I add? I mean, you might not even need to add I mean, maybe one. I mean, Kit's like you're a Luber of that deck, right? And then we can summon the Lubellion because we obviously need to have a level 8 light dragon, then a level 8 dark dragon, and the Albion was properly fused, so now we can get the branded banishment, and then we can go end phase, Go Albion effect. Declare. Oh, why is the music so loud? I didn't realize the music was so loud. I'm just gonna redo that combo because that should not have happened. My bad, guys. Alright, so... is this the hand that we need? No, we just need a Branded Fusion. This is a 1-card combo as long as you have to get out Lad plus a Lost plus Mirror Jade, which is pretty solid. But you guys are going to see how it really like builds into the Sanctifier line. So we go Branded Fusion, send Lubellion once again, plus the Albaz. And then we can make Albion. Albion effect. Oh god, the wrong Albion. Banishing Albaz plus, I guess, this guy. And then go into Lubellion. Oh my god. Why is DB lagging? Where's my Lubellion? I'm sorry? What? Am I just... Okay. I think I was just blind there. I don't know what just happened there. Okay. So... We're gonna go back to that. Where are there 2 Sanctifiers? Yeah, that's what guys, it glitched out, right? Like, it shouldn't have been 2 Sanctifiers, right? Like, DB actually just glitched out there. Like, I'm not just like imagining things, right? That's crazy. Also, Brand Banishment goes back to the deck, but that's fine. Send. All right, so this is the 1-card Lad combo. Send Lubellion, Albaz. God, you love DB just glitching out like that. Yeah. And then I knew I clicked the right one. And then we go Lubellion, discarding whatever. Quem doesn't really matter. Spinning back then. The Mirror Jade. And then we will tribute off Albion for the Lubellion. Then Lubellion effect, getting the branded Lost from deck. Alright, brand Lost is actually there, guys. Hopefully, or thank God. And then we can go end phase. Obviously, I guess set branded in red, but it doesn't really matter. Declare. And then we get the branded banishment to the spell and trap card zone. Then we set it, and then we can pass to our opponent. And then you can go draw phase, go branded banishment, summon the branded, the Albion, then banish it and Lubellion for the Lad. And that gives you 3 Omni Negates plus Mirror Jade, which is pretty good off of 1 card. I'm not gonna lie. And plus you have Lost, so like obviously if you have Cartesia and Quem, if you were able to make a 2 or 3 card combo, it's very good in that respect. So you can kind of this is why Brand Banishment's the best way to make Lad. Like obviously Brand White's probably the second best way, but outside of that, it kind of really because it's a level 9 monster. So if you look at Albion, you need this thing only makes you can fusion summon 1 level 8 or lower fusion monster. So this thing you cannot make through Albion, and you cannot make it through Lubellion. So you have to do it through ways like Branded White and Brand Banishment. Brand Banishment's like by far and away the easiest one to do. You forgot to return the banished Albaz. Oh, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. But alright, let's show off the other combos. Also, I'm going to be having a full combo guide on here, but coming up very soon. Also, guys, make sure to leave a like. If we get to 50 likes here, I'll show off the rest of the lad combos that I was gonna save for the combo guide. I'm gonna show off like one more combo, then we'll get into roasting deck lists. Here, well, no, we'll do two more. Okay, so here's Quem and Lubellion. Quem is gonna send the Mercurier. Also, shout out to Raul for this one specifically. Quem sending Mercurier, then Saronir is going to then banish the Mercurier, going to search out the Shrouded Dragon. Lubellion's going to send, or is going to be able to summon because you have the Saronir on board. And then this combo just requires Lubellion in hand, which I actually like running Lubellion at multiples if you can. So then you go Shrouded Dragon, send the Branded Fusion, get Allure of Darkness off the draw. Then you can go Retribution, get the Branded Fusion. Then you can go into Branded Dragon since obviously you already have the Lubellion up, sending the Cartesia. Then you can go Lost for the Mercurier, which you can then use Allure of Darkness for, which is pretty funny. Then you can go Cartesia into Lubellion, discarding, and then you can make a Stapelia here. Oh, is this a different line? Is this just? Oh, okay, no. And then you go Branded Bash, make the lad, and then you have Quem, Cartesia, Draco Stapelia with Mirror Jade plus Lost with the Mercurier with Banishment. So really disgusting board, frankly, with just like 2 or 3 cards. So we can like rerun that replay quick because that one was like really cool. All right, so this one is just Quem Lubellion. That's crazy. This one is just Quem Lubellion. Quem send Merc, Lubellion get the Saronir, and this is why like I said, multiple Lubellions is just like the way. Shout Raul, yes sir, yes sir. Then you'll get, like, this is why the Bestials are good cards too, because like they help you combo, they help you get to your Branded Fusion, they help you set up Retribution, they help you set up Branded Fusion. It's really crazy. So you obviously trigger Quem here, which is just nuts because you get the cart back, which gets you into your Grand Guignol line. You get the Stapelia, and then you make the Mirror Jade, and then you get the Banishment off the Albion in the end phase. You could have obviously, it's a really good combo. So shout out to Raul for that gas. All right, we'll show off one more, and then we're gonna roast Decklists. But yeah, no, if you're wondering if you like should be running this card, I think you really should try and definitely pick it up. I think it's, as you guys see, it fits into the standard branded combo line, and you're still able to gimmick lock. So it's like, what you could do is you could go lad and then like use your 3 negates and then gimmick lock them, which is kind of cute. Like, that's a cool combo. So this one is just Albion plus Cartesia plus a discard. So you go Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, send the Retribution. Cartesia, fuse off the Albion in the hand before you can draw, and then you go Grand Guignol to then banish or send the Saronir. Saronir send Branded Fusion. Retribution get the Branded Fusion back. Branded Fusion get the Albion or send Lubellion and Albaz. Albion's going to banish both of them, make a Lubellion, and then spin back, make a Mirror Jade. Lubellion get lost. Obviously, now you can just get the Cartesia back, and then you can go Albion in end phase. Get the Branded in red. Oh, he's doing some sequencing here. So he goes Branded in red. And he can actually summon it off of Branded in red as well. So now he can make the lad off of Branded in red. That's also something, guys. You can make a lad off of Branded in red. I should have mentioned that as well, very obviously, because Branded red summons 1 level 8 or higher. So this is just an instance where you can go Branded Lost. You still search under the lad, guys. That's just how it works. It's crazy. So a lot of people, I feel like, don't realize that this card's as good as it is because of the fact it plays around, or Lost just basically makes it very good for your deck. Instead, I'm also really flattered, Raul. Raul says, not like you, bro. I look up to your creativity. Spelled the word wrong, but hope you understood. It's good versus the stun matchups and things that don't care about Puppet like Flu and Gimmick Puppet. Oh, that's a really good point. It's very good against those decks that don't quite care about Gimmick Puppet, like It's very good against Labyrinth, I would assume, at that point too. So definitely something to consider, guys. So yeah, guys, we're gonna look out for the longer video on this deck coming out this week. We're gonna show off all the combos. We're gonna show off a nice list to how to turbo this out, and then we're gonna talk more about it. Just wanted to show that off. I hope this was a really good like post info primer for you guys. I know I showed a little goo off, like not showing it all off yet. We're gonna show it off through the week. But yeah, guys. So now let's roast some deck lists in a minute. So have you guys posted your deck list down in the Discord? I'm gonna do ! Discord. I want to see your deck list. Go post your screenshot of your post info deck list for branded or whatever. Let's look at what these Zamina archetype. Did you guys see this? The new Zamina archetype. It's basically fusion Whitewoods. It's really crazy.
Tribute a synchro monster, then target a face-up card on the field, negate its effects until the end phase. Then, if you tributed a Whitewood synchro monster at activation, you can special summon an illusion monster from your graveyard. And then it has the second effect that all of the Whitewood spell traps have, which is if this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. I think that seems solid because you will, in Whitewoods, often have Whitewood synchro monsters on the board on your opponent's turn. I personally believe that as long as Whitewood's spell traps have this secondary effect, they can never be completely terrible for Whitewoods. Obviously, the Searcher one is really strong.
What do you mean GZ1K is the Discord link not working?
I think the most important part about some of these spell cards is the fact that you can reset them over and over and over again.
No, it is.
This seems like the kind of card.
It just doesn't work on Twitch.
I'm just gonna discard this card or send it to the graveyard for one of my Whitewoods, right? It's basically free because it resets itself. And then it does at least something on my opponent's turn, right? Like, it's not the greatest, it's not the greatest card ever, but like the fact that you can target a face-up card on the field, that includes spell cards, right? The fact that you can negate like Talents or Thrust or Lightning Storm or Duster, all those kind of cards, even Dark Rule.
I'm going to make a snack super quickly. We're going to react to Josh Schmidt's video, and then we're going to go over deck list, guys. Do not worry. And then we're going to play Master Duel after that. So, fun-filled night ahead, guys. Raul, if you want to come chill, guys, if you want to come chill after, during the Master Duel section, very much down to.
Ruler no more?
Yeah, the link doesn't work on Twitch.
I think is pretty good, right? It's like a hot red on a spell card. I think that makes it better. It's not just imperm, right? It's not imperm because it's not just monsters. So I think that's what makes it a lot better than you think it is. And I could really see playing this in a Whitewoods deck, at least as a one of, because I'm pretty sure these spell traps are searchable with one of the monsters. So I don't think it's good enough to be a 3 of or something, but I think it's solid. I think it's a solid searchable one of for Whitewoods. I'm hoping for more Whitewoods support than just this, but it's all right. We've got a V-Jump promo, which once again, V-Jump is always weird because you never know when we're gonna get this, but this is another Performapal card, Performapal Sky Magician Girl.
This card is broken. It's so generically good.
Level 5 Wind Spellcaster, 2000 attack, 1500 defense. Has 3 effects, all of them once per turn. If you control a continuous spell, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can send a level 4 or lower spellcaster, light spellcaster from deck to the graveyard. If this face-up card leaves the field, you can target a spell trap on the field, destroy it. I'm not quite sure if there is a home for this card, but this card this card seems good, especially if there are really good targets for the second effect. Off the top of my head, I can think of Trick Clown. I can think of Fairy Tale Snow in like the OCG or Master Duel. I can think of someone in chat just mentioned you can send Jaugen and then revive it. I don't think that's what you're gonna do with it. You can send Cartesia, Quem, all that stuff, but they don't immediately do anything when they're sent to the graveyard. Also, there isn't really a deck that plays a bunch of continuous spells, right? Like, I don't know, people said like, hey, I can special this in Tearlaments and send Snow to the graveyard if I have Scream. And it's like, well, but what if you don't have Scream? Then you have a level 5 wind monster in your hand that you can't really use. Unless you can resolve Kid Kalos to search the Scream. So, I don't know. The Snake Eyes thing count? Yeah, but like in order for you to put a Snake Eye card into your spell and trap zone, most of the time you already have to be able to play the game. I don't know if I love this card, honestly. It also does not count. Pendulum Scale does not count. Yeah, I don't know. If this face-up card leaves the field, target a spell trap on the field, destroy it. That can obviously be solid in a lot of matchups. You can also destroy your own if that ever comes up. I believe this is because a bunch of the magicians have effects when destroyed. This is a weird card for me to evaluate. I personally feel like it looks good, but it looks better than it is. Because it is very situational as a level 5 monster, requiring continuous spells. I wouldn't be surprised if it ever saw play though, because the effects are certainly useful. But I think it's hard to evaluate. I think it's a little too situational to say exactly whether it's going to be good or not. Can Voiceless do anything with it? See, you would have to go out of your way, I feel like. You'd have to build your deck in such a different fashion to play this in like Voiceless Voice. Like, what are you gonna do with this in Voiceless Voice? It's just awkward, I think. Because Low isn't even a spellcaster. Low's a fairy, right? So, well. And then we have the archetype that has sparked a lot of at least where it's gotten a lot of attention this morning. I haven't read the cards yet, but I saw a lot of people tweet about this. I believe this is an additional archetype as part of the Diabellstar lore. So there are good things to be expected from this. It's a fusion-based archetype called Azamina? I don't know. We've got Azamina Rhea Silvera. You can tell from the names it's part of the Diabellstar and also from the artworks. It's an illusion fusion monster, which requires an illusion monster and a light spellcaster. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. Any battle damage your Azamina monster other than...
I will say I love the art. I love the art of these new cards. And the effects are all very generic, as you guys will see. The summoning conditions, just one illusion plus one light spellcaster. Light spellcaster, shout out to Branded, it's a fusion card.
Itself inflicts to your opponent is doubled. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you contribute this card, negate that effect. That's really strong.
Sanctifier is probably going to get banned. Maybe.
That is essentially an Omni negate. That's really, really powerful. It's not very cool in terms of design, but it's powerful. It is worth noting that it does not destroy the card. If anything, if they want to make negates, I would prefer if they they kept it like this in a way that doesn't destroy the card. Simply because make negates as weak as possible, basically, is my take. But you know, I'd rather just have them print not an Omni negate on it. But all right, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add a Sinful Spoils trap from your deck to your hand. All right. They got multiple.
All right, guys. We're gonna be roasting Decklists just in a few minutes.
Multiple fusion monsters. Basically, long story. Let me just say one thing right off the bat.
Dustin means it's pretty expensive since it only has one print. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to survive until at least the Megatons. I don't know if it'll get banned, though. Because honestly, considering what the Fiend Smith does, I don't think it's, all that.
The power of these cards is going to depend on how you summon them. So, I assume we're going to have some spell cards as well, so we're going to have to wait.
Yeah, that's what bothers me about Josh's input. When he reads a card, his deck knowledge is only as large as the current meta breakdown. Oh, no, Josh knows a lot. I mean... It's really funny that you mentioned Colossus. I'm currently running that. I think that something like Colossus is pretty good, but you would have to run over Sanctifier. Totally fair. And also, Raul explained why the lad does negate. So, yeah. So
Didn't see
the explanation is why lad does not negate the or like the search off loss. Is that what you can still add off loss while lad tries to negate? No negate is that you can't negate the activation of a card that was already on the field. So
you summon these guys. You got Azamina Mu Arcielago. Illusion plus Spellcaster is what they all require. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can add an Azamina or Sinful Spoils card from your deck to your hand. Monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense for each monster you control of that archetype. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add a Sinful Spoils spell from your deck to your hand. Okay, this one added trap, this one adds spells, but only if they're destroyed. And then we have Azamina Sol Erisicton. This one takes Illusion plus Fiend. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target a card on the field, send it to the graveyard. During each standby phase, you can target an Azamina or Sinful Spoils card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. See, this is the kind of design that I like a lot more than on the first one, right? Like this one has a removal effect on summon, but also gives you insane recursion. If you can keep this guy on the board, you get to add a card back from the graveyard every standby phase, which is pretty cool. I like the design on that card. And then we've got Azamina Moa Regina, level 8, requiring an illusion and a level 6 or higher fiend monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can target an illusion monster in your graveyard except itself, special summon it. Okay, once per turn reborn, not bad. When the Sinful Spoils or Azamina card or effect is activated, except its own effect, quick effect, you can target up to 2 cards on the field, destroy them. See, this is another. These literally out of these 4 fusions, I really like the design on 3 of these. They seem really interactive and fun to play with, and then they make this one, which is just why did they have to give this cringe ass effect anyways? But like the overall still looking like a cool archetype so far. Let's see how we summon these guys. We got Sacred Azamina, normal spell. You can only use the second effect once per turn. Reveal an Azamina fusion monster in your extra deck and send 1
The summoning conditions are nuts on these guys.
Sinful Spoils card from your hand and or field to the graveyard for every 4 levels it has. If those cards are set, reveal them. Then special summon the revealed monster. This is treated as a fusion summon. Okay. If this card's in your graveyard, you can target an Azamina monster you control or in your grave, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. So, I assume that this is like, for every 4 levels, this means that, because they're not exactly level 4, these ones are level 6. This means you have to send 1 Sinful Spoil. Because you have to send a second one if you reach level 8. Which means for all 3 of the first ones, the first 3 you need to send 1 Sinful Spoil card, and for this one you have to send 2 to summon it. Which is weird, because this is not the most powerful one. It is a good one, but I would say this one is the most powerful, simply because it has the Omni Negate, but alright. The first part of the effect is not once per turn, so you can activate it, then later on add it back to your hand, and then activate it again. My only issue is that the cost for this seems quite that seems like a big cost to me, because Sinful Spoil cards are not that, like, there's not that many. I mean, I think they're getting more, but yeah. We've got Azamina Ophiletis, quick play spell. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn and only once that turn. During the main phase, reveal an Azamina fusion monster in your extra deck and send... Okay, this is the same effect, but on a quick play spell. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, then target an Azamina monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Alright, so This card is interesting because it lets you summon this guy, for example. No, this one on your opponent's turn, right? Because this one has an on summon, send the card to the graveyard effect, which is obviously more useful on your opponent's turn. The fact that you can quick play summon it on the opponent's turn is nice. Yeah, this card is also okay. We got Azamina Hamartia, normal trap. You can only use the first, you can only use one of these effects per turn. Reveal an Azamina fusion monster and shuffle a Sinful Spoils card from your graveyard or banishment into the deck for every 4 levels it has. Okay, this lets you recycle Sinful Spoils card from graveyard or banished to summon as cost. That's obviously a powerful trap card. And it has a recursion effect in the graveyard as well. You can banish this card from the grave to target a Sinful Spoils trap in your grave. Set it. It cannot be activated this turn. This seems good to me, but it is a trap card. So we'll have to wait and see how strong it actually is. But being like, the thing is,
all right, we kind of saw the Azamina cards. They're broken, but they're kind of hard to get out. But they won't be as hard to get. It's gonna be instant fusion, the deck apparently. All right, so we're gonna go over deck lists. We're gonna do our roasting deck list section, which we do every week here at Metagames GX Incorporated. We roast your deck lists and give pointers to you, tips, and then also sometimes we just show off like the best decks. So, you know, because some decks don't need to be roasted. So we have Master of Logic's YuGiOh list that he used against me in the YuGiOh replay earlier in the stream. So you're running a bunch of hand traps, 12 hand traps at 43 card deck. Does the 43 card list really doesn't matter with YuGiOh? You just have so many 1-card combos that at that point it's just like, oh, okay. Everything leads to the same place, so it doesn't quite matter if I go to 43 cards. All right, you have Pyrise map. Is this standard for YuGiOh? It's a spicy card, and then you have the Unchained package with the Fiend Smith card. It's very standard. Side deck, you have the Skill Drains, the Crows, Mind Cons, which is spicy. What do you have the Mind Cons in there for? And you do have the Anti-Spell with the Diarize in the main extra deck in order to provide a pretty great board. So this is kind of like what you guys are looking for if you're looking to build YuGiOh post-info. But yeah, no, I someone asked before if what I think about branded Labyrinth. I don't think it's very good. I mean, it's like okay, but it's not very good. Like Raul said, someone topped with it. Owen, my favorite 50 card list that I play until I get a handle on Whitewoods. Dragoon is inside is specific to my locals. Half the decks can't handle it. Alright, so we do have 50 card Brandon Nadir with Maximus. You love to see it. So these are post info, so I'm just like because Nadir post info is something I've actually considered personally. Because it's nice to play through the D barrier on Aqua Lock, so it's something to consider, guys. You are running the Dragoon, though, in the side with the Dark Magician, which is cool. The Lulu in the main. Lulu, I feel like you kind of have to run with Nadir Servant if you're going to run it. Just, like, helps everything go. It makes that card way better. You do have the Book of Eclipse as well. Book of Eclipse being a board breaker into info format, I think that's pretty good because it really hits YuGiOh. Bestial Luber, though, with the Brand Sword, interesting. You do have the Allures with the Mercurius, so I actually do like the list a lot. Got some spicy stuff. The Ogres in the side for presumably Tenpai and then maybe Gimmick Puppet, even though you don't have other really any other cards to interact with Gimmick Puppet, so I'd probably do something over the Ghost Ogre for sure. I think Droll's pretty good. Card limits currently back and forth. Alright, card limits. Currently back and forth. Won't find out until I play live post-info. So this is his post-info list because he does have Monster Reborn the second. He doesn't know if the Soul Exchange will be in there. Hopefully it will. Let's pray for card limits. I think he deserves the card, but yeah, no, I do like the list, of course. Memories of Hope, Soul Crowning. So many cards I just don't know what they do, and I still love it. I need to start reading these cards card limits because we're gonna match against Master Duel one of these days. You're just gonna cook the ever living shit out of me with this deck. I mean, that's kind of what it does. You do have the main deck Lightning Storm, so you're always a going second deck. You're always just breaking boards. You still have the Spooky Dogwoods in order to just go plus as hell with Winged Dragon of Raw plays, because your life, you know, just having a differential will really go hard with that. So you can pay for more life for Raw. Also, Raul, if you want to come roast Decklists with me, come through, bro. Portal Spirit. My brother made a Dark Magician deck. Please roast this bad boy. Okay, then. So, this deck is the goo. Like, we were talking about, like, guys, I was going over post-info, you know, goo, lots of texts, things that you haven't seen, you know, going over the matchups between Fiend Smith and YuGiOh. This is what I've been meaning. This is the creme de la creme. This is the apex. This is what you guys need to be running at Nats in order to drop out and go play Edison side events. So, is it your little brother, Portal Spirit? Like, does he play much Yu-Gi-Oh? I mean, I'll say this. I like the creativity with Duality. I love Duality. I think that card's nuts, honestly. And you are running Fallen of Albaz. So, you know, you got Branded Fusion there. You got good cards. And then you're running Secret Village of the Spellcasters, because I guess all your cards are Spellcasters. So, Nightfall, would you ever run this? Like, would you ever bring this to one of those DB Grinder tournaments? I think you'd still win if you just sided Dark Ruler evenly and still saw them. And then you do have a bunch of just random Dark Magician cards. You do have the Dark Magic Circle because, you know, non-target banishes are pretty good, I heard. But outside of that, I feel like realistically, the power level of this deck is way too low. Dark Magician cards don't really facilitate a whole lot. I mean, Illusion of Chaos is a great card. Same with Magician Soul. But however, you know, you have the deployment too. I just think that you would be much better off running a pure branded list. I think the branded cards really brings the cards down. The Aya Tamias too is like what are we doing kind of thing. Like, Aya Tamias is one of those cards from 2014 that wasn't good then and is still not good now, even with more targets. Like, you have 2 targets here, but no, you have 1 target there, I think, right? Or can you summon the other guys? I think you can. I mean, the Dark Magicians are cool, but their boss monsters aren't very good, unfortunately. So it is kind of just what it is. DB Grinder tournament, probably. Aluber, I got my girlfriend into Yu-Gi-Oh! She's playing Purely and Branded Despia, but she mostly like Purely. That's okay. Girls will like their girly deck. It's cool that you got her into Yu-Gi-Oh! Though, so just find her a deck that she'll enjoy. You know, it's cool that she's supporting you in your hobbies. That's always a great thing. I also saw Nashi quit Yu-Gi-Oh! Today, guys. Rest in peace. Yo, it's old Tenpai. Card limits at the moment. It's between 2 Desires, 2 Tatsusano, 2 Memories of Hope, or 3 Tatsusano, or 3 Memories. I mean, what have you liked more? I think into info, I think you would want the 3 Tatsusano and the 3 Memories. You don't want, like, to make your way... You don't want to lose to Droll more than you need to in a deck like that. DM circle does target for banish. Oh, it's not even that good. Okay. This is probably getting worst deck list of the night, but guys, I'm not gonna put it past y'all. Like bring through the goo, you know, bring through the spice, even if it's very overcooked. So we have we have Long John Silver cooking with the Marincess post info, but this time he's not main decking the Molt Chummy that he won the last Mad Games GX locals with. He is now running a small ice barrier engine, which is very cool because you get to run the ice barrier spell plus the ice barrier monster plus the swap frog, so it's a 5-card engine, and then you're able to basically turbo out. I mean, it just gets you into totally awesome way more. I hope Sam sees this list. I hope you posted this to Sam. I think Sam would enjoy this list. He has ulti swap frog, so I think he would enjoy this kind of list greatly. On top of that, you fit in so many hand traps. I really love this list, Long John. How does the engine work out for you, Long John? I do have to wonder. You do have the deck lockdowns in the side to just say those are spicy. It's one of those side deck cards I just feel like has never borne out, though. Like, people always talk about being insane, and then just no one runs it. Kind of same with, like, Mistaken Arrest. Just these going first, like, floodgates aren't very good, in my opinion. There are spell cards, rather. Molt Chummy in the side, because, you know, Molt Chummy is very good in a deck that abuses water level 4s. They're Aqua, so I understand. Jake the Mountain Man with his post info. We got a wide variety of decks today, guys. With his post info gimmick puppet list with 2 rank up magics and the Horus engine, because my man wants to have another win condition than just burning his opponent to death. He wants to be able to play through hand traps a little bit, because the Horus cards give him level 8s, which allow him to go into his rank 8 gimmick puppets. Obviously, he does, I think something gimmick puppet locks him, but I think you could do the Horus combo before anything. It's not like you're drawing, you're just burning your opponent to death 3 times in a row. Very cool list. How have you been liking the Horus package, Jake the Mountain Man? I must wonder. You do have the board breaking package too, instead of the hand traps, which is cool. I would probably say Dark Ruler over Droplet, though. Dark Ruler over Droplet for sure. I think Droplet, unless it's just some sort of crazy interaction that I don't get with gimmick puppets, I think Dark Ruler is better in most decks right now than Droplet. I'd say if not 100% of the decks. So side deck's looking pretty interesting. I think you do need to run a cross out in a deck like this where you like kind of just lose to like specific hand traps. Doing it for Ash is interesting, but maybe that's a going second approach and take out the Horus cards. Your reasoning suggests making the Monster Reborn live as soon as possible. I get that entirely, says Card Limits. You're talking about me, Card Limits? If I want to see Soul Exchange, that's the where Pot of Desires will be placed. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, exactly. If Soul Exchange doesn't come out, I think Desires will fit in perfectly. I think Desires still, you know, I looked at your list, and I think Desires still just like fits into it quite well. It's just like, right, you're tight on space, so it's not the easiest run sometimes. Excalibur, if Dragon Rollers come back, I'm glad if they do. I hope they come back to 3. That would be really nice. GZ1K Decimines maybe change a heart or Snatch Steal. Also, you have the Gimmick Puppet trap right there, so very cool, very cool. Long John Silver. I like the Swap Frog engine. Being able to make Toad before you normal summon is solid into your basic Marincess combo. Makes sense. I wish you guys had like a way to get Swap Frog like automatically through like a link or something. That would be so good. Give you guys like a link frog that just specs a frog from deck. Imagine that. Imagine that world. Dude Man 209. If the pop field spell and they don't shift you can 10 pie even do anything if they have a good board setup. I mean, they can OTK you if they don't have the field spell up. You just have to stop their OTK. With interruptions. So as long as they don't have field spell up, it's pretty easy, right? Wow, we have so much deck diversity here this week with our roasting deck list action, guys. This is awesome. We got Ritual Beast post info from our man GZ1K in the chat with the Pengu Ritual Beast. You are main decking the Nemesis Flag and the Corridor because you're main decking Thunder, Dragon, Colossus. Plus, you are also getting the Protoss, I think, in, right? Is Protoss in your main? No, it's not. You're not even siding Protoss. Why are you not siding Protoss? I feel like Protoss is so good against certain decks, but also, like, a lot of people overestimate Protoss. Like, that's why I think I said last week on the roasting deck list on your deck, like, I think overall Thunder Dragon Colossus is a better card, but Protoss definitely I think should be probably in the side deck at the very least for the decks it hits. I don't own one and it's expensive. Oh yeah, I forgot Protoss only has one printing, so it's kind of expensive. I do really like your list though. You do have the cross or one Molchummy, one Valor though. I'd probably clean that up. Or you do. Oh, you have it for cross out target, so that's fair. 3 talents in the D barriers for the Brandon matchup, which I think you do need for the Brandon 10-5 matchups because I know they could be kind of tough for you. They just like so many interruptions. And then Nibiru, just being Nib. I don't know if Nib is like the play next format though, guys. How do you guys feel about Nib? I don't know if Nightfall's still in the chat, but how did you end up feeling about Nibiru? How do you guys feel about Nibiru and your info testing? All right, next deck list. Let's go. Sun Eater, trying out more Despia. More Despia if Puppet is no longer an option post info. Where's our Despia list? Here we go. So, oh, he's running a Dramaturge, and this is a list if like Puppet or Sanctifier gets banned. Dramaturge is really cool. I actually think Dramaturge is not bad, honestly. I think that overall, especially with the Despia Theater, just being able to get it out, it's not a bad card, but like I think overall with the Gimmick Puppet still being legal, it's way better. I also think like Window will be a better option, honestly, if Sanctifier gets banned, frankly, off of the interaction, because you just go Grand Goyle, send the app Cologne, and search Schism, and you get Window down this exact same line you would Gimmick Puppet. In my opinion, Protoss is way better than Puppet. You think so, Raul? That's crazy. I do think that Protoss, against the decks it's good against, it's like way better than Puppet for sure. Also, Long John Silver said that Deck Lockdown has been MVP post-side. Really? I guess I can't hate on it. Killing Tenpai with Buster Bladers is funny. I completely agree. Shout out to the Greek duelist who got top 8 at the Greek Open with Tenpai, or Buster Blader. Jake the Mountain Man, Dark, how you doing, bro? Dark Ruler with Puppets isn't very good. You can't OTK through Drooler, and the board you end with has a few interruptions, but may not be enough. Oh, now I understand. I'm dumb. Why would I suggest Dark Ruler and Puppets? You need to do damage, of course. So yeah, GZ1K, might put one to add 2 Dim Fissures in the main deck or the side deck. Dim Fissure and Ritual Beast is kind of disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. All right, this is a cool list. You do have the the Despian Perk Skinny on, plus the Lulu Wall Lilith. If you're running Lulu, you should be on the Deer Servant though. So that's probably what I'd be running in here, maybe instead of the Allures or something. Take out the Crossouts too. I don't think Crossouts very good in Branded right now, but it's not terrible. Okay, and then let's see. What's our next list? Oh, we have Devin Reeves, the classic Obelisk Blue, in the chat. I don't know if he's with us right now. How you doing, Devin? I hope you're doing well, man. I know you're grinding hard right now. You know, with your personal, I don't want to reveal too much, but I know you're going down a very good path. So, you know, good luck with everything there. Got a killer list here, my guy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to roast this. This is roasting Decklists, Devin. Like, you got to give me some material to work with. So yeah, no, main deck's perfect. I would say maybe Brandon Rudd at 2 would be the change I'd make. I think 2 Cartesia is actually 100% correct in the 50 card build right now. I've not been missing the 3rd. I think it's a little bricky and it makes your going second hands a lot worse. I think Foolish could be cut maybe for that. Also maybe a High Spirits. Second High Spirits is pretty good. I've been considering personally, but obviously there's a lot of other things. You could also try out the Lad over the Alba Lenatus. Also the other goo that we were talking about, like Asteria. I'm going to be discussing a lot more in the future with Raul, because Asteria is just a broken card in Branded. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Get you Asterias. Jake the Mountain Man, Horus engine is insane with the puppets. You can go through at the FTK line, they don't get popped from the counters. You can go through the FTK line and they don't get popped from the counters. Oh, that's cool. And you don't get locked, right? Or do you get locked, Jake the Mountain Man? Naz Robinson, been doing a lot of testing and plays a higher Bestial count with High Spirits. I love higher Bestial count with High Spirits. I think it's decent in the next format because, like, yeah, you can Bestial, like, an IP still. You can Bestial, like, a Fiend Smith or Sequentia or something, but overall, it's not great. Pedalfin is busted, says GZ1K. What's Pedalfin? Zelda Duelist YuGiOh, personally, I think Nibiru is pretty similar to this format, where it needs to be paired with something else to be really impactful. It's totally fair. Yeah, no, so this is a really good list. So the side deck, you do have the hand traps. Bestials might not be the play. Obviously, if you're worried about the mirror match, Bestials might be the play, but I don't think they're the play against Fiend Smith, personally. You're just going to play into Talons. You're going to open yourself into that, and then they're going to mostly play through it. It's only good for, like, the FTK setup against Beatrice, so they don't make Beatrice games 2 or 3. So I guess it's there for that. Yeah, I like that for that. And then Droll's very good, in my opinion, because they're not going to expect you to be on Droll if you're unbranded. So I think that Droll could hit a Fiend Smith player. You just have to be careful about oversiding, because if you see too much non-engine with Droll, you're just going to die if they have like 1 interruption. So Imperm's interesting. I think it's a bit too low impact, but I think that overall Phantasme would be a better option. Like, we didn't even talk about Phantasme when we went over info, guys, but Phantasme is one of the best cards going into info, because it hits Yubel, hits all the Fiend Smith decks very hard. You draw 2 or 3, get a body. It's very good. Do you think of the 1-card FTK with Nadir and branded 60 cards? I mean, what do you mean the 1-card FTK? Like the 1-card gimmick lock? Like that kind of like help popularize, or do you mean an actual FTK? Because like I've called like I call the branded gimmick lock FTK, it essentially is. But like, do you mean, so like, yeah, I think Nadir with that kind of thing is okay. I do like that. You know, I think branded fusion FTK is a bit better. Dude Man 209, fire decks can play around Nib, especially in general. There's so many lines to get around Nib, exactly. How do I submit a deck list? You join my Discord. Exclamation point Discord in the chat. Join my Discord. The link is right there. Join today if you're not already a member. I do think overall, Nadir can definitely be ran and branded though, like, guys. Like, we have been talking about Nadir a lot, but... So, hopefully we get some more Nadir lists, because the last, we did have a Nadir list up there. Zaber. I want to be able to use Dark Roll in the main, but I don't know what to remove because I really want to stay at 50. I'd remove the Shiren, highly cuttable, remove the Adlib, and remove the second Cartesia. Easy. Side deck's pretty good. I mean, Cosmics could probably be removed for something more impactful, in my opinion. I just think Shiren's not doing too much right now this format, because you're supposed to be turning out Masquerade, and when you're not running Masquerade in the main deck, like, what's the point of maining Shiren, you know? You have the Light and Darkness Dragon in the main deck, though, with the Brand Banishment for the 1-card Light Darkness Dragon plus Mirror Jade, line plus Lost. Very good, very good. double Gwignoth still complete the gimmick lock. I like the list though. Very solid main deck. Just, you know, you could take out the ad lib. Ad lib's pretty bad right now. I'd probably go 3 Aluber, 2 Cartesia to take out the Shiren. And then you did remove the Foolish, so you might have to make like just an effort to cut something else like the second Saronir, and you'll be fine. I'm gonna remind you, what's up? How you doing? I'm doing great, brother. Now that you're here, we're just chilling. So let's see. Where are the next lists? So we have Welcome Labyrinth. What do you think Metagames GX about the side deck and main deck? I will swap Fenrir for Imperm. Okay, so I would say you don't have Thrust, obviously. I'd remove the Crossout. I don't think Crossout's very good, especially in a list with Super Poly. You're going to be losing advantage really hard with seeing those hand traps. So I'd like remove the Adlib, remove the Ashes, remove the Crossout, put in Nadir Servant, put in Maximus, put in Triple Tactics Talents at like 2 or 3. And that'll just be fine. I really do think that Nadir will be pretty decent next format too, like we saw a list before, and that's also like what I was saying in my budget list, that you could be running either Nadir or High Spirits. So like you could run High Spirits at 3 plus the Dragons. I think that overall that you could be running High Spirits just to be playing through the hand traps very easily, and Crossouts just doesn't give you any advantage, so I'd remove it. So yeah, no. Interesting list. Maybe also remove the 3 D-Barrier, remove the 3 Cosmic, and just get more impactful cards. Like, I mean, you do have the evenly matches, so like, you know, I'd look at like the side decks I've been kind of putting forward. Been playing this a lot online. Oh god. This is Gem Knight, Blackguard, and FTK with super heavy Samurai and literal Gem Knights. Are you just submitting for the second worst deck list of the night? I mean, this one you could actually win some duels with, unlike the Dark Magician one. Alright, guys, you have to submit your deck lists vertically. Never ending, I can't review this. I mean, like, I see 3 duplications, I like that. It's just like, I'm gonna get a headache turning my head. Maybe I could like flip it around, but obviously we've been over this before, so just resubmit if you want me to roast it. Alright, so we have Zelda Duelist with his Thunder Dragon Tikaboo in the main deck, Thunder Dragon branded list. Very spicy. My man Zelda Duelist quite literally always cooking. We do see also, how you doing on Wild TV? What's up? What is up? It's been a minute, man. How you doing? Whoa, shit. Back to being a member. Let's go. By the way, I got fourth place at the past locals with a record of 3-1-1. So you have 5 rounds. Let's go. Got 2 OTS 25. Congratulations, brother. Hopefully you pulled an ulti or something. Good super rare. What were your matchups? I'm curious. Good shit, bro. Really good to hear. Glad to hear that you're doing good, dude. Glad to always have you and your energy in here. Yeah, Alexander Winter mentioned Nadir. I do think Nadir is just very good in branding going forward, because you're able to play through the D barrier that is being like FTK, that's gonna FTK you with the gimmick pup, or sorry, the Fiend Smith deck. So strongly considering branded for European Championship. Plan B is YuGiOh, but all depends on how many hand traps will be main decked. You should play branded, bro. Plan B is YuGiOh. I understand not playing branded, though. It's a tough format. I do think that brand is a lot better than people give it credit for into the next format. And you're a wild player on it, so I know you'll do it. I sent the best deck, brother, says Long John. I actually love your deck. The Swap Frog, that's a very innovative take on Murn Sus. So Zelda Duelist with his Thunder Dragon deck. He is running one Thunder Dragon Dark and one Thunder Dragon Hawk, obviously to facilitate one card Thunder Dragon Colossus under Shifter with Stapelia if he wants to, with Branded Fusion. Also, the main deck package of Dark Ruler No More and Droplet. Why are you running the Tikaboo in the main deck? I'm curious. He doesn't have any Thrust, but he does run 2 Duplication to play through that with 2 Talents. I'm kind of curious what that package is looking like for you. You also don't have the Gimmick Puppet in the main deck, and you choose to run Adlib. That's the thing. You can't. I don't think you should run Adlib and Gimmick Puppet at the same time. But if you choose to run one over the other, I won't roast you about that. Main deck's interesting. I would just consider putting Gimmick Puppet in over Adlib, because I think there's still... I mean, you only have 1 Grand Guignol. To be fair, only with 1 Grand Guignol, I think Gimmick Locking gets a lot worse. So, yeah, I would say, like, evolve your deck over time. But I really do like this list. It's spicy. You're doing the Thunder Dragon Colossus plays. I think Tikaboo in the main deck's a bit troll, but, like, it's like you're going to side it or main it. It's one of the best side deck cards in Branded right now, so I understand. Alright, so... Oh, God. What in... Long John Silver. Come on, man. You even have the Ancient Organisms in here? Come on, man. So, we're looking at Runic Stun. I'm close to vomiting. He has 2 D-Fissures with all the Runic spells, including a card that should be banned or at 1 that is Runic Fountain. And then he does have 3 Skill Drains plus 2 Synchro Zone plus 1 Tikaboo. Plus 1 Rivalry. Running the Tikaboo is wild, though, in Runic. You're just going to kill yourself to that. And I hope you do. Like, in-game. Not actually, because we love you, Long John Silver. Yeah, no, we got all the Runic cards, too. And just a disgusting side deck with the Raw Sphere mode. Raw Sphere mode, I love in Runic Stun. It's so broken. So, yeah, no. Okay, so I will give you the award tonight of just, like, the most anger-inducing deck. Like, this is just... It's a good deck. It's also something I am, like, religiously against. Like, also Zelda Duelist. I do want to I want to read over what Zelda Duelist was saying about his deck list, because I didn't. I think this is the conclusion of my cookery, my best built deck, if I do say so myself. Colossus seems crazy in the format with Droll everywhere. Papito Liquito is better, but I prefer Colossus. From testing, I often heard that Colossus plus Mirror can actually beat some Fiend Smith Snake Eyes decks. Fair enough. That's a really good point. The fact that Mirror plus Colossus beats Fiend Smith. Double Droplet, double Talents, not to draw multiples of my hard once per turn breakers. Teaspoons is my 50th card of choice, as it's too good. This format. DD Crow is kind of nuts into Fiend Smith deck from testing as well. Do you like DD Crow against Fiend Smith? What do you DD Crow against Fiend Smith? Because I'd just rather have Bestials against that in that situation, unless you're just getting one of their spells. Cooking with Azamina. So we do have the first Azamina build on the channel. It's Chimera Azanima. He's running all the new Azamina cards, which basically... But he has to run the Sinful Spoil package, which he does. I don't know why he doesn't have Original. I'd probably just still have Original in here just to have, like, some sort of, like, facility. Like, I would just run Original, man, and have, like, a small Snake Eyes package in here, frankly. That's just me, though. Because you don't Fusion Lock... I think you do Fiend Lock yourself. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. If you don't, Snake Eyes package seems really good. 47 cards seems a bit rough. 46 cards, but I do think that Chimera, going forward, this is how you're going to want to build Chimera. Like, Branded is probably on the way out for Chimera. However, the new Examiner cards do like light spellcaster, so I could see a build where, like, Cartesia, Quem in this build, plus Whitewood's cards will go really hard. So he does run the Sinful Spoils Trap, which is Omni Negate, which is pretty good, plus the main deck Molt Chummies. I would not main the Molt Chummies. I'd take that out. I think Molt Chummy in the main is pretty troll unless you're Tenpai or Marincess. But yeah, guys, if you want to see what the Examina cards do, look at my reaction to Josh Schmidt's video. Also, you could just join the Discord and read the cards there. I really did like your list though, Zelda. It was probably like my favorite list of the night without Thrust by far. Zelda Duelist, it came up so much in testing. It hard beats you decks like Yubel, Tenpai purely, and makes Snake Eyes really easy, or consider their plays a lot more. That's totally fair, Zelda, like in terms of Colossus. And Wild played Yubel 2-1, got the bye, then Tenpai 1-2, and draw against another Tenpai, and then 1-2 versus Runic Stun. Furious was such an MVP. Yeah, no, you need Furious for that matchup. Great job either way. Card limits. My last locals was Brick City against Tenpai, Snake Eyes, Yubel, and Runic Stun. Oh my gosh. Long John Silver. Oh no, you didn't see the second submitted list. Well, I just did. Zelda Duelist, it came up. Yeah, I read that. And Wild just submitted your deck list. I will definitely review that. Angra, get that war crime out of here. Runic Stun ass. Speaking of Runic, I should play Runic Chimera. I think that's a cool build. Kalinap is super probably a good option. Is super probably a good main deck card. It might be next format. I just think overall it's really hard to run Super Poly and justify it when it takes up way too many extra deck spots. Jake the Mom Man, I sincerely hope my puppets take a fat dump on Stun. Have you done any testing versus Stun? I bet it does. I bet it does. Destiny means why 3 Burfino with 2 Gazelle. Really want to see a combo with this list. Yeah, we'll have to have some combos up on this build on the channel for sure. Let's see how long we've been reviewing deck lists now. We like to do the reviewing deck list for about an hour. 30 minutes. Not bad, not bad. So okay, so we're gonna review some of the newer deck lists that just came through. CD Sonic 91 aka and Wild TV in the chat. You do have a pretty spicy main deck with the 3 Super Poly on top of the Allure of Darkness with the 1 Fusion Duplication and 1 High Spirits. I do love High Spirits. 2 Quem, or 1 Quem, 2 Cartesia. Do you only have 1 Quem? Is that why? Elsewise, I say 2 Quem is necessary, very much standard and branded. Helps you play through Nib, it helps you play through hand traps, it gives your Grand Guignol another target that's really important so you don't just burn up your Queritus and then it's just useless. Makes it so Titanic just, you know, in case you draw your Quem, you know. Because if you draw your only Quem and you can't really normal summon, you have to go Luber, it sucks. It sucks, absolutely sucks. Super Poly, I think, is not the play in this kind of build because you don't have enough advantage, like, to be generating, because you do have the 1 Mercurier and the 1 Tragedy. I'd put in a second Mercurier for sure. You do need the second Mercurier. It's just correct with Allure of Darkness. You have to always have, like, either 2 Mercurier or 2 Tragedy and 1 of the other. At the very bare minimum, if you're running Allure of Darkness and branded, in order to have the correct kind of hand ratios that will allow your Allure of Darkness to, like, get you a +1. Also allow you to put in your extra deck a bit more cards, like you could run a second Grand Guignol, you could run Albalanatus, which just helps your end boards a lot more. And then in the side, I'd definitely remove the Cosmic Cyclones. I mean, because you just run Lightning Storm plus Feather Duster, and you already have the Feather Duster, so just the Feather. I think Lightning Storm is just better than these. You aren't going to be seeing too much Runic Stun. I think these Lightning Storm just does way more. You do have the Albalanatus in the side, though, and the Masquerade in the side for time. Totally fair. I understand that. With the Bestial is pretty good. With Shadal Dragon, I understand. I think Shadal Dragon is standard right now. You might see less skill drains in post-info, though, so Shadal Dragon might be something you can actually cut post-info. Never Ending has his deck list now in the right order. We do have 3 Aluber, 3 Fallen of Albaz, 2 Quem, 3 Cartesia, 3 Albion, 1 Mercurier, or 2 Mercurier, 1 Tragedy with 1 Kit, the Bestials and Gimmick Puppet. Then you have the standard branded engine except for 2 Red, 2 High Spirits, 3 Eclipse, 2 Talents, no Thrust, but you do have the Allures, so I understand where you're coming from. I'd probably just maybe... You do have the 3 Fusion Duplication plus the Banishment, and then of course you're going to probably have the Lad, I'm assuming, with the Banishment. So I do really like this list without the... It's a pretty good non-Thrust list. You have the Duplications to pick up the slack where not having the Thrust is. I'd probably just say just like a 3rd Talents, or maybe Nadirs you could consider, but I think overall... This list is really good. Or no, what I would do is 3 high spirits, maybe with like more bestials, like run 2 or 3 Saronir. Didn't just try that because Saronir goes really well with multiple duplications because Saronir obviously makes duplication live. Destiny means damn dude, I have 3 Super Body, but no Mud Dragon, no Garura. I mean, you could be like Yuri and do it like that, but I think overall you do still want at least 1 or 2 targets. Versus Fiend Smith, I think it's just impossible. Just try spam Pedalfin. Fair enough. GZ1K. Is second Quem mandatory in Brand going into the next format, or you have 3 thrusts? Yes, I would say it's mandatory. Like, obviously, you can get away with not running 2 Quem. Like, you can play branded without 2 Quem for sure, but if you want to go through a tournament and not feel the need for and not get burned by it, yeah, 2 Quem is going to be nice because you're going to lose some games off of not having the second Quem. You're not going to lose a ton of games, but it's going to come up a number of times to where you're going to want the second Quem eventually. Book of Eclipse thoughts. I think Book of Eclipse is pretty good. I thought I answered that question before, but Book of Eclipse is pretty good. It's good into Ubel because it helps show off their board. It's good into Voiceless, obviously. It's okay into Fiend Smith. Still stops like what they're linking off with IP most of the time. And while understandable, Cyclone works for me since I like reactable cards. I used to run 2 Merc, but I wanted to play Kit for testing it and see how it worked out. I think double Merc is absolutely correct. I would just run both. Like, there's no reason... Like, you shouldn't cap yourself at, like, 45. Do what you need to do, you know? If you need those options, rather. Yes, I only own 1 Quem, totally fair. With Super Poly, I think it's just player preference on my end because I feel naked without it. I used to be like that with Branded, so I understand that feeling. I would just try to test without it because once you learn how to play Branded without it, and it's not even learning to play without, it's just like without that comfort of Super Poly because that card breaks like any board if you're playing against like a player that will suffer against Super Poly, but good players just do not make boards that are Super Polyable. So... I do like this list. Side deck looks, or extra deck looks good. Like I said, just more high spirits, maybe more bestials. Alright, we have the worst deck list of the night. Zelda Duelist with Shifter Bolt Chummy the deck with 3 blue eyes. Separate card arts because they need to be separate. Like, you know, obviously they have to differentiate themselves. They all have personalities. 3 Raigeki, 3 Dark Hole with 3 Bingo Go machines to search your blue eyes. You can there's a blue eyes spell right here. I presume to get out the blue eyes ultimate, which is cool. Oh, it's a blue eyes ultimate turbo deck with a reload and magical mallet with thrust and talents. That's the thrust is wild. Like, does this trap actually help you? Like, is it like duplication for this deck? That'd be sick. Into the Void at 1's wild too. Just might as well run freaking Card of Demise at that point, right? Maxine Meg, what's up, Chris? What the fuck is that deck list as Destimines? That's true. Most of the time I end up siding it because Droplet and Thrust do the work. Fair enough and wild. I did like your list overall, though. Hold up, he's cooking. Yeah, I think you're cooking Zelda Duelist. You're always up to something new, and honestly, I think with this one, you either have the best deck for Nats or the worst. There's like no in between with this. Either you're just seeing a line that no one else can see, like the Sharingan, or I'm about to waste my Nats ticket on this deck list because I'm running it. All right. Is there anybody else that wants their deck list roasted? Because now I'm just kind of going back into the archive. Oh, we have Vosquared. I do have to roast Vosquared's list. So what's up, Vosquared, channel member? My first channel member, very much to appreciate. I remember all, you know, that I reply to every comment. I'm very active with my community. It's very cool to see like people still support me after so long. So very much to appreciate. Like shout out to Gabe Headley who was in the chat before. Like that man's been around forever on my channel. So yeah, Horus cards. This is Horus, Lightsworn with Centurions, because the Lightsworn cards give you level 8s to help you facilitate Calamity plays and also let you just make disgusting end boards plus Apo, plus like SP because the Lightsworn cards plus rank 8s because of the Amritara and Minerva. But you don't have any rank 8s in here because I presume they always need to go to a Synchro, so that's fair. 3 Horus, or Imseti and then Happy and then 2 King Stark. Only 2. I'd maybe run 3. I think that card's too good not to run. And then in a Lightsworn deck, and then 3 Dragonling, 3 Weiss, 3 Wolf, and then 2 Fearless. I do think you can maybe cut down that engine a little bit because it's a lot of bricks between the Wolf and Fearless, but I understand. You can maybe cut one of each, to be honest. And then Finn, some other cards. You have the 3 Fenrir. How's Fenrir in this deck, I have to ask? With the 1 Judgment Dragon. Judgment Dragon, I think, is being preferred over Punishment Dragon at the moment because it just breaks boards, you know? And then you have 3 stand-up Centurion with a very small Centurion engine of 1 Primera, 1 Trigea, and then 1 Gargoyle, which is cool to see the Gargoyle, actually. It is a Dark Dragon, and then 1 Wake Up Centurion, then 1 of the Phalanxes, which is the Omni Negate, which gets over the Dark Ruler. Very important to remember that Centurion has an out for Dark Ruler. So you kind of need a bit more than that with that. Then you are running Calamity on the side, plus all the 12s, plus Scarlight, and then the Minerva Amritara package. I don't think you need Amritara in this. Oh, you search Wraithsoth off Amritara for Fenrir. I don't know if that's very good, though, because you can never summon Fenrir at that point. And then you do have the Link Charmers plus Apo, Access Code, IP, SP to break boards. Very nice. Alright, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, of course. We do have channel memberships down below if you want to click the join button, become a channel member today, get access to the coaching group chat for you get to ask me anything, and then you get all my deck lists early. You guys are going to start getting early videos. You could also sign up for the higher tier for the coaching sessions as well. Very much just all goes back in the channel. Very much is appreciated. Helps keep great content going here on the channel. 3 power filters, pretty funny though. Amritara can't search the cache field spell. You're right about that, so I'm not sure where they are. Oh, you're searching reframing. That's cool. You search the reframing. Don't remember if I sent this variant. It says Jake the Mountain Man. Oh my gosh, what is this? Is this Exodia Fiend Smith? No, I don't think you did. You sent the other variant without Fiend Smith, and this is the update. So I presume it just helps you facilitate a lot more plays. This deck is basically trying to draw through its whole deck and assemble the 5 pieces of Exodia. Plus you're running the new Exod, which is pretty cool. I'd just like run the fusion at that point, right? Maybe. For the Omni Negate, that'd be pretty cool. The new fusion, the new Exodia fusion. Do run the Magical Mallets plus the Wands plus the Dark Factory plus the Upstarts plus the Chicken Game and the Fiend Smith engine, the Exodia cards. This card helps you draw 2. The Flameville Guards look troll, but they actually help with the deck because of this guy. Number 90 for Anti-Nib. And then you do have the Wave King Caesar with no Beatrice, and you just use the Wave King for... You just use Fiend Smith in order to link climb or get to the Wave King. Very cool. I'm retired. Yeah, I already answered that. Is Patchwork good in 50 cards? It's okay. Probably not, though. It's too much space. Blue Eye Spell summons the 3 from the deck just to kill after breaking their board, and the trap card is a turn skip. It removes the extra deck they can't play. Oh. How are you doing, Maxi? Nice to see you. Channel member in the chat, I believe. Fried Bacon, new background. Yeah, we did move into my actual bedroom. I'm no longer in my living room, so new background. Here we have Lord Viper's 3v3 deck list right here. Shout out to Viper in the chat, channel member in the chat. You do have three Cartesias, 2 Quem, 1 Merc. I actually love the main deck. The main deck's perfect. 50 cards. You have everything you need: Allure, High Spirits, Duplication, 2 Red, the Thrust, 3. I'd say maybe you could go to two Cartesia and maybe like a second Sarnier. Very nice, or maybe like a Asteria, obviously. No Lad. That's fine though. Standard extra deck, and then the side deck's looking pretty good. I do like the Black Goat, but I think Black Goat's pretty bad into the new format because Black Goat doesn't really turn skip. Alright, so I think that's it for the deck list. I do appreciate everybody sticking around for roasting deck list. That was a fun roasting deck list. We'll be back next week to roast the deck list. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what your favorite deck list was. Let me know down in the chat right now what your guys' favorite deck list was that we went over. I think overall, in terms of the worst deck list, we did have the Dark Magician, but of course, of the best deck list, I really did like Devin Reeves' take on Branded, and then we also had very solid, like, I did love our Master of Logic's U-Bow list. Very cool. Damn, he didn't see my question. What was your question? Oh, I mean, I'm here. You can always donate a super chat if you want me to see your question. So yeah, no, that was fun roasting deck list, guys. I'm probably gonna transition over to Master Duel for a little bit, and then yeah, so give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna throw on a video for you guys, and then just take a 2 or 3 minute breather, and then we are gonna get into some Master Duel. What am I watching right now? What are we gonna watch?
Welcome back, YouTube, and today we've got another tier list video. As we enter the WCQ season, a brand new set is being released, Infinite Forbidden, and I'm sure it's on everybody's mind as we go to the most important tournament of the year: which deck is the best deck to play? But then also how Infinite Forbidden may augment current decks and the new themes from that set may fit into the metagame. So let's take a look at what the best decks are going to be in the upcoming format. Before I begin, if you enjoy the meta-relevant content where we go over tier lists for the best decks, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below on your thoughts on the tier list, if I've said anything you don't agree with, or if you have any suggestions. Also, next week we will have a tier list again, this time for the staple cards in the format. Okay, so before we get into the actual tier list itself, let's discuss the parameters by which we judge the cards. The tiers, if you will. This one's a bit weird because I think there's kind of 2 different ways of looking at this. The decks that really will shape the format and people will build around. Specifically for this format as well, I want to talk about the decks I feel like will give you the highest chance of earning a World Championship qualification spot if you're competing in the European WCQ or the North American WCQ over the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to classify these decks first here into the more classical tier list that I've done before, with the driving forces, well positioned and such. And then I'll also put decks afterwards into a tier list on what will give you the highest chance of qualifying for the YuGiOh World Championship in September. So quickly, let's talk about the first tier list here. Now, the top category is going to be the driving forces of the format. So these are ones where they will shape how the rest of the format is built. Decks will have to be prepared to beat these top decks, whether it be their non-engine or their engine has to line up well into what the main deck does here for the driving forces. So even if one of the themes isn't the best, like Senpai was last time, it will no doubt have a huge significant impact on the format, and if you aren't prepared for it, you will not really have success in the tournament, at least you're unlikely to. I'm also going to have the well-positioned category. These are themes that feel like are the best positioned to take advantage of the weaknesses of any of the driving forces and leave themselves in a good spot. These decks usually have contrasts with the driving forces in the sense that the cards that are good against the driving force decks, Snake Eye. And I'm going to call it pure Snake Eye here, but in reality, this deck has stopped becoming this same sort of pure Snake Eye that we may have had before. Now, Snake Eye is going to play Fiend Smith. The Fiend Smith cards with the new Light Fiend Link 2 enable extra ability to play on hand traps, because now if you get, say, Valor Impermed on your Witch plus Snake Eye Ash, you can convert them into another line of play now. It also means when you're playing through fields, you're going to have more ability to push through interruptions. The Fiend Smith cards aren't just extra bodies, though. One of the fusions, DS Array, it's not exactly in every single deck list with like on the OCG, but it pops up enough to know that it's a high chance you can play against it at a high-level tournament. What it does is it's almost like Hot Ragged Dragon Archfiend. Quick effect, you can target any number of cards in the field, up number of links that are equipped to it, which the Fiend Smith cards do, and then you can negate their effects. So this is a great way of mitigating board breakers now. So now Snake Eye has a better tool for breakers. And this essentially acts as an Omni to replace cards like Baron and Savage, which were otherwise banned. What's cool about this card, however, is it actually gives you out to cards like Dark Ruler or Droplet, not just evenly matched type cards. Because if your opponent goes Dark Ruler and you have any chainable spell or trap card, you can chain the spell or trap and then chain your DSRA, because like Hot Dragon Archfiend, unlike Savage, you don't have to chain directly to the card you're trying to negate. So Snake Eyes gets improvements in every sort of fashion here. It's a strict upgrade in every way. So the dominant deck in the meta only got better, which is just crazy. Now, other decks will use Fiend Smith. Any deck that really can put up the bodies and isn't going to lock yourself out of the Light or Fiend archetype typing, then you're going to want to play it most likely. So what does that mean for everything else? It means that you want to either combat Snake Eye with a heavy board breaker lineup, or you want to pair together large numbers of hand traps, 3+. Now, the distinction of the Fiend Smith cards here is now 2 hand traps is not nearly as safe. This means the minimum number of non-engine required for me to be comfortable with a well-positioned deck has changed. And I think decks only like 12 or so non-engine spots now aren't enough. I think this reflects most in decks like Voice's Voice, a deck where you had non-engine spaces, but you didn't have the same high level that maybe like a Snake Eye Mirror Match did or a Tempai did. And I think rather, if you only have 12 spots, to try bridge 2 card combinations together. And if you're trying to do that, the best way to do that is with board breakers instead. Now, it is a bit more fluky because, especially at the beginning of format, when you don't know the exact end board people are going to end on, it's hard to target down to the things. Personally, I prefer the hand trap approach, and I'll talk about more of that next week. But by that reason, I think that will affect a lot of the rest of the deck rankings, and we'll get into that as we talk more. But the other big driving force in the metagame is going to be Tempai, and Tempai is getting new support into Forbidden. We're going to get the Pokey Draco card, or Dora Draco, a new starter for the deck because it adds any Fire Dragon, and specifically you're going to be adding a card called Tenpai Genroku, which is just Tenpai Poplar. And it's at hand, sums itself, and you can turn it into a tuner if you want. Then you contribute it off the same way you would the original, special summon Tenpai for the deck. They also got one of the new trap cards, but all in all, those 3 cards don't really augment the deck's ability to go first. You could have some gimmicky way to pull off some combos, but at least from my testing, I still feel like this deck is primarily your second deck. Now, that being said, you can fit a large suite of non-engine in here. So that's why this deck can thrive. You can easily build your deck in a way where you're likely to draw 3 hand traps. And versus other decks that aren't Snake Eye, you're still pretty well favored. Your cards are efficient, they're not weakened to hand traps, and you have a limited number of bricks, meaning your hands should look pretty good every single time. The biggest problem with this deck is that you're going second. It is a huge flaw, and being synchro and battle phase driven also means
Peace out, Zelda Duelist. Have a good one, bro. Thanks for subbing your Decklist and hanging out tonight, my man.
That being said,
Appreciate you
if your
as
opponent
always.
doesn't prepare for it, this deck will roll through a tournament. Because I think if all non-engine is directed towards Snake Eye, and 0, side deck included, is directed towards Tenpai, then Tenpai could actually run away with the tournament fairly easily. That being said, I think most people are diligent enough to know that they have to prepare for Tenpai. It is going to be a large shaper of the metagame. Decks with a bad matchup for Tenpai, they suffer a decent bit, and decks should be gearing their non-engine, at least in some way, to Tenpai. Snake Eye is the same. Cards like Rise to Full Heights is a popular card to send off Beatrice, post-side, or even in some tournaments we've seen being played in the main deck. Perhaps the rank 1s like Kikinikishi Fujo or Lyrilisk will both be used by decks like Snake Eye to stop the damage from the Tenpai deck. So like the last list, I don't think it changes. These 2 are the biggest driving forces in the metagame. That brings us on to the well-positioned decks in the format. And as far as what's well-positioned, I think there's only one deck that is actually well-positioned, because I think there's a problem. I talked before how now you want 3 hand traps instead of 2, comfortably feel safe against Snake Eye. And with 3 hand traps, it eliminates a lot of the viable decks that would otherwise be well-positioned. And so the best way to counter that has been an uptick of decks that play breakers. High engine with breaker decks bully those mid-range decks that would have been otherwise okay, like Solomon Great, Marincess, Labyrinth before. So I feel like it pushes those decks out of being well-positioned now, because now they're not just facing hand trap decks. And ultimately what that leaves me is the only deck I can confidently say I think is actually in a good position that is not a driving force in the metagame is Runic Stun. Because this deck is not weak to breakers or hand traps. The only breaker it is weak to is Evenly Matched, a card that I think is probably one of the worst breakers. And I guess back removal, which overall are not the really cards you typically put in as breakers in the current format. And with everyone preparing so much of their side deck now to max up the number of hand traps they feel okay post-side, it really leaves you in a weird position. This deck can just absolutely destroy you, because it's criminal where you have so little agency sometimes in how the game goes, you'll just get obliterated. Skill Drain is a phenomenal card, and there's other floodgates that are insane as well. Tyrant's Tirade is one we've been seeing more and more as well. They can play cards that break boards, like Sphere Mode, Lava Golem, their normal summon not being too important. And most of the time, one of the best cards that are good as defensive options aren't going to be good versus the Runic Stun deck. Like, Appaloosa does very little, and Espial Knight does just a little bit. If you're looking at dealing with this, one thing that I'd recommend is trying to end on the new fusion, Fiend Smith DSRA, because that will be negate. But also, one of the Fiend Smith links does give you the ability that when it's equipped, the monster you equip it to is untargetable. One of the main methods of removal for the Runic Engine. This, I think, is great because it'll give you a way to stop floodgates, stop ruining spells, and per turn. Being unchargeable means there'll be a huge priority for your opponent to deal with. But if they don't draw one of their strict removal cards like Lava Golem and Sphere Mode, it might just not be able to clear it. But even with all that in mind, it does require a decent bit of foresight in the opponent to know the matchup, to be prepared for it, and still requires Runic Stun to not then draw their outs to that card, right? Because as a Runic Stun player who's being diligent, they'll have to prepare for those type of answers. The answers for Runic Stun are going to be limited, because even people that are preparing for this deck, it feels like they're putting 3 side deck cards in max to beat it, cards like Cosmo Cyclone. At the end of the day, that does leave a lot up to chance.
Guys, we're going to switch over to Master Duel in like 1 moment. Don't worry. We're just going to finish off a little bit of this Jesse Con video, and then, yeah. Oh, he's about to talk about Branded.
And there's a good chance Runic Stun could just run away with everything. So it's a deck that I feel like is the only deck that is truly well positioned. All right, the next tier to look at is the strongest engine tier. And first I want to talk about the Despia branded deck, because the Puppet Lock is strong as ever, and it can play through boards to a decent extent, to the point where if you back it up with some proper board breakers, you can actually do rather solid into a lot of decks, especially the more rogue ones that were more mid-range and trying to just jam a bunch of hand traps in, deal with Snake Eye, but then their combo of their own really wasn't that powerful. Now, in some degree, you could argue a deck like this is going to be a driving force in the meta, but I felt like the actual driving force behind a deck like Despia was the fact that now we've seen an uptick of these pseudo FTK decks, like Rika or Gimmick Puppets in the future, or Despia, that would then play this board breaker package as opposed to a heavy hand trap lineup. But as for the engine itself, because each of these different pseudo FTK engines is ranked differently, I want to talk about their own merits. And I think Despia's is one of the strongest because it feels like it's, for the most part, one of the hardest to hand traps. It has a lot of different ways to combo as well. It's really hard to know when you should be trying to choke your opponents in certain spots. And then some of the best cards, you just can't even stop. Things like Branded Law stopping you, your ability to respond, or Albion Sanctifier saying you can't target. You really have to stop them early, and oftentimes you just don't have a good outlet to do so. But even if you do, the deck does have a good grind game and good natural disruption without relying on their single FTK. The other good thing about their FTK is it's typically not weak to any sort of opposing board breakers. Where some pseudo FTKs like Rika are a bunch of negates, which can albeit very strong, it doesn't immediately end the game. The same with Puppet Lock, it has pretty much zero recourse. The second it's in play, unless you're playing Gimmick Puppet deck, you are just boned. One of the biggest problems I do with Despia, and that hasn't changed, is how it gets caught a bit in the Dimensional Barrier Crossfire, and Tenpai being such a part of the deck. I think if Despia existed without Tenpai in the format, Barrier would not be in people's decks, which is another reason why I wouldn't put Despia as a driving force per se. That being said, this is a deck I'd be kind of scared to play, because a big problem with any of these breaker decks, like, as I said before, is that you don't know what end board people are going to be playing on. For one, mirror matches between pseudo FTK decks are just coin flips for the most part, but then also, like, you never know that if Snake Eyes prepare more for Despia, they could just put a searchable way to beat you, right? Like Beatrice now is accessible in Snake Eye very easily, and Beatrice can do anything in the world they want. And they could send mid-range cards that require less bricks, like Black Belt Laughs or Keldo, to bolster their field. But I feel like that's not enough, because you're playing very like high engine, like aggro deck. They could send Angel of Blue Tears, which says when it goes to the grave, and your opponent, and you'll damage your opponent, which the Fiend Smith level 6 material will do when it gets attached. You can banish yourself from the grave to set any normal trap in your deck, and then you can use that turn. So you can search and then set Dimensional Barrier and use it. You could also send a Floodgate from deck to grave and make Nightmare Griffin and reset it. You could also go Beatrice to send Transaction Rollback, and then Beatrice again on their turn to send the trap card Maikashi, which will just say you can't summon anything. And then one for pseudo FTK deck, this is probably the best one, barring maybe one other choice, but it's arguable where it stands. And that would be YuGiOh. So YuGiOh is kind of hard for me personally to classify, because I do think it involves in the strongest engine, but it can almost be broken up into 2 different sects. One that is way more combo driven, with more Unchained cards, and its end field is infinitely stronger. This feels almost like the pseudo FTK version here. Your number of non-engine is drastically lowered in return, while your ability to play through hand trap goes up to the roof, and your end board and power goes up to the roof. So the point where I feel like board breakers don't work against you, and the point where hand traps don't work against you. However, in return, going second becomes a lot worse, because you're relying on engine and the very scarce board breaker non-engine you do have break through fields. But then there's the other version of the deck, and then this is the more traditional approach to the deck that we've seen being played in OCG, which I think is unfortunately better right now because you need the more non-engine. Then play a hand trap lineup. This is where you can fit around 15 or so non-engines to the deck, and then in return you still have a powerful suite of YuBel cards, so it's a small Unchained package. You also have this weirdly good Tenpai matchup because they just can't deal with your YuBels. That sounds pretty appealing, right? But the one problem I have with YuBel here is it actually ends up being pretty similar to Snake Eye. You have solid 1-card combos, and you have good 2-card combos and 3-card combos. Your deck actually bridges together very well. You have some bricks in the deck that aren't the worst to draw because you can use them, but are ultimately not good to draw. The same way Snake Eye would have your Snake Eye Valsto or Flamebridge, maybe to a lesser extent than YuBel. They really actually just seem very similar when you compare them. So where does it leave YuBel? So my problem with it is, I think it is a little bit worse than hand traps if you're playing the high hand trap count. Are more games that feel like you lose to Ash Blossom than there are in the Snake Eye deck, specifically on the effect that tributes Samsara D Lotus. You could get Ashed and it's very rough, where Snake Eye I feel like has less critical points to that specific moment. I also feel like the YuBel deck just can't play as much non-engine as the Snake Eye deck, which means that if these decks are doing the same thing, you have to compare them head to head, which one is better, it's just going to be Snake Eye. I still think that hand trap's the way you want to be approaching the YuBel matchup, and Snake Eye is the same, so there's really not much of an edge there. That's why it ends up in this part of the list. I don't want to undersell YuBel's power because I think it's an incredibly good deck, but I do think it just gets outshone by Snake Eye in every way. And those are all the strong decks, and I feel like we've shifted to way more of a top-heavy dynamic here. The metagame feels really centered on these few decks. But next up, let's talk about some of these strong engines that are more awkwardly positioned. And that first one I got is Fire King Snake Eye. Similarly to YuBel, you can't play as much non-engine as you can in the pure Snake Eye deck. However, I also feel like it just matches up worse now. Destruction feels to be worse versus YuBel. And before, where you gave more removal, you now just aren't as good because the Fiend Smith cards do it for you in the pure deck. And with even more and more like ways to combo and make these strong fields, especially that are Appaloosa-centric, a card that's notoriously strong versus Fire King, it becomes hard to cope. It almost feels like the best way to approach Fire King now is to then shift towards a board breaker approach. But the reality is, if you're doing that, then you're not playing a pseudo FTK deck. While your end board is incredibly strong, it's still less than an Despia deck. And in reality, probably less than like a YuBel deck as well. But you're also giving up hand traps. So now like it is more possible for your board to be broken. Overall leaves you in this position where, despite your engine being pretty strong, it doesn't feel like it's ever correct. And we've seen this in OCG, where with the new Fiend Smith cards, Fire King's fallen off the map for a large part of it. Whereas in Master Duel, where a lot of the hits are the same as Snake Eye package, Duel Connects is legal, Fire King sees play. I think if the same thing would happen in Master Duel and Fiend Smith cards came out, we'd see Fire King start to rotate in the same fashion. Next up on this list, I want to talk about a brand new deck, or a deck that got brand new support in this Ritual Beast. I know a lot of people are interested in talking about this deck, and I feel like this deck suffers from a similar problem to a lot of the decks like Voices Voice, where your hand will not be able to compete at the top level. Just the circumstances doesn't matter. The driving force, you need hand traps. This deck can't do it. Not where I want to be. Next up, we got Rescue Ace, a deck which has pretty solid engine, and I think if we are seeing an uptick in board breakers that are strictly weaker now, while people like are freaking out how powerful it is against this deck, it still probably gets you 3 draws, which is just insane. Don't worry, if you're not Featherstorming them and killing them on the turn back, you'll probably just lose, because flu is flu. Let's also talk about the Whitewoods toy theme for a second. So what this deck does is we're going to be searching a bunch of the toy cards to give you fodder for Whitewoods effects, and the Whitewoods effects let you synchro up to powerful synchro monsters, to synchro on your opponent's turn, book them in your opponent's field, and just, yeah, make good synchros. But the thing is, synchros in general have hit a bit of a hard time with Baron and Savage being banned. They are just strictly weaker now. And then what this deck is, it relies a lot on 2-card combos. It's similar to the same vein you look at like Unchained. And those decks typically can play some non-engine, but not like an incredible high number non-engine. So like Voiceless, like Unchained, you're going to have probably around 12 non-engine in here. And that's not where you want to be. And in terms of power level of the combo, other things are just so powerful in comparison to what they do that why would I play Whitewoods over Despia, for example, if I'm comparing non-engine, or over YuGiOh? Your Snock deck is specifically stronger in hand traps. I haven't found that to be the case. Despite having some really cool options like searching any spell trap from the grave, it's just not the same level of power as the other decks. And you can't play hand traps to compensate. So, yeah. Alright, so that was Helos number 1. Talking about which decks are the driving forces and where they all fit in terms of positioning into the metagame. However, at a tournament like the WCQ,
Just skip the Ritual Beast part.
Kings start to rotate in the same fashion. Next up on this list, I want to talk about a brand new deck, or a deck that got brand new support in this Ritual Beast. I know a lot of people are interested in talking about this deck, and I feel like this deck suffers from a similar problem to a lot of the decks like Voices Voice, where your hand trap lineup isn't like super set. It's like 12 hand traps. You can push 15 if you really want to break out more of the your engine cards. So it means you're not going to be able to compete with these high hand trap count decks like Tempire or Snake Eye. So in a lot of ways, you're strictly worse. But you do have cards that you can maybe switch to more of a breaker approach. Go like 12 breakers, then put a little more oomph into the engine. So A, you're better off going first, and you are okay going second. The other upsides with Ritual Beats is if you go for the hand trap approach, you have access to cards like Dominus Purge, which would otherwise not be too impactful for this deck. And you also can play cards like Dimensional Shifter, the still best hand trap in the game. And you also get access to searchable cards like Protos, which turns all your combos into pseudo FTKs. Because your combos otherwise are decently strong and solid into most hand traps, barring Nibiru. But the deck does come with downsides, and I think the biggest one outside of the non-engine count is going to be how bad it is into removal. Now, note how I said it wasn't great into Nibiru, and I think that really shines when you go second. And I've seen this in testing as well. If your opponent is playing the Snake Eye combo and they end on their Flame Burge with IP, you don't have a great way of dealing with that. Even with non-engine like Dark Root or Temple can just bring up the IP. SP in the normal summon is really hard to deal with because there's still the SP float again for a second piece of removal, and until you can establish bodies, you kind of just don't have any great options. The deck that once it gets developed is rather strong, but the issue is getting developed. Reminds
I'm gonna go play Master Duel now. Alright, Master Duel time. At least for a little bit. Alright, did we get anything for logging in today? I did log in yesterday, guys. I didn't stream it. I logged in for a little bit. Just decided to spend some coin. Got like basically a forbid or a dark, whatever it's called, a called by the grave. So not too much done. Just doing our dailies. This is the list that we are looking at. I also did get to gold, so I think that like we left off at silver 4 last time. We're now gold 5. This is the main deck that we are working with, obviously. Still like 51 cards. I could cut it down, but I ended up getting the Book of Eclipses because we need more board breakers. I got a called by because that's a good card in our deck. I think we could go 1 High Spirits, frankly, with how little bestials we have. And just kind of call it like that. We do have the double Guignol now, so that's good. Why is the audio so low? Oh, that's why. Alright, let's play a few ranked games, try to get up there because we have to hit Master, guys. We're gold tier 4, so still just grinding up those ranks and trying to get the best cards that we can get for our deck. Alright, we won die roll. It's free. I've noticed a lot with Master Duel, it's just kind of like pretty free if you go first. Like, not a whole lot of hand traps. Outside of just like Ash. Wow, this hand is perfect. I play around Imperm and Ash. I do need to get a second Cartesia. It's probably my next play. Like the next UR I make, but I kind of want to just get more called buys, to be honest. Can just get a branded fusion right here. Put back the evenly. I love kit at multiples and Master Duel because of the one branded fusion. Makes it not feel as rough. We can make Albion. Oh, we have to get Lost next. That's what I'm missing. I should have gotten Lost over Called By. Get Branded Dragon out. I wonder what our opponent's even playing against. It doesn't even matter because we're just gonna FTK them. We can just go into the Lubellion by using the kit on field and then go into Lubellion. I just feel like this deck would be actually impossible to play at high ranks. Maybe I'm just like over exaggerating it, but I don't know. My turns take forever. And like the timers are not very conducive to that kind of playing. Alright, we got Mirror Jade. Not in the MZ like I meant to. That was a misplay. Oh, we're getting Nibiru right now? That's crazy. Do we want to go... I also could just chain Mirror Jade here. Sending Titanclad. I also need to get Mercurier. So at least we still get Gimmick Lock. Running Nibiru on Master Duel is wild though. Now Grand Guignol is going to trigger. Card limits, honestly, when I play Master Duel, I usually get opponents using cheat tools. My opponent is actively playing around cards in my hand he should have no legal knowledge of. That's a thing on Master Duel? Oh gosh. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, Darvent. I love whoever commented in my chat saying you can't special summon a non-properly summoned fusion monster to the EMZ. No, you can. You just didn't know what you're talking about. You can just summon the Quem, get the Albaz, complete the Gimmick Lock. Doesn't actually matter. Now we can just go draw phase. Branded in red, targeting Albaz. He actually drew the called by. Oh, that's so annoying. Called by Nib is rough. Oh, at least he's playing a bad deck. Camellia. You can just get Cartesia here, I guess. Of course, he has Shark Cannon as well. I love getting sacked to Sky Striker. Just getting called by the Camellia. Just get the engage. Okay. I don't know how much he's doing from here, but... Oh, he gets Widow Anchor so that this thing can't activate. Really? You're running tune to Able contents? That's wild. I don't know why he did that. He should have attacked over the Quem. I'm just gonna take his Kagari, fuck it. Alright, well at least we have branded fusion here. And he draws Maxi. Like, what is this game? Oh, I can't even go brick round. I could go Albion, or I could go Lubellion and then make it, but then he chains. I need to get Cartesia in Graveyard, but I don't have another Cartesia since it's banished, so... It's probably just still Sanctifier. I don't know. Sanctifier, I don't want to make Sanctifier here, so I think it's just this guy apparently. I don't know. These aren't good plays, to be honest. Yeah, I still need to make Mirjade, I think. He's out. Oh, I don't have the second Mirjade. Oh, this deck sucks. I actually have to just make this. Yeah, why not? Do I want to actually do that? A gym chain will get me into patchwork at least. If he doesn't negate the Quam, he shouldn't negate the Quam. He should just actually let me discard and go neg. You never know with bad players. That sack with Sky Striker. Well, we get branded in red here at least. Oh yeah, I have to make Guardian Chimera too. I have no clue why I got the Called By, honestly. Called By was such a bad decision. Probably just Magnum. I don't know. This Magnum does actually start popping his cards. Guess I'll just attack over those and then revive and then pop his back row. Why doesn't it give me an option? Okay, whatever. That is such a weird thing. It should give me the option to special summon it, that's all I'm saying. Also, like, I should have been able to use Magnum the Reliever there, so now I'm just so confused. Oh, no, I can use Perskinian's effect. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, I should have probably done that multi-roll, right? It's probably fine. Oh, I'm also under fucking... forgot I'm under fucking Maxi. I don't know why I did that. I kind of just entered to Maxi. This turn was taking way too long. I'm not like used to Maxi in my normal gameplay. What are you? Oh god. That was just a pathetic. That was a game of all time. He just wanted to be out of there. Alright, so we definitely need to get more URs. Like, oh my god. Fortunately, don't have any extra ones already. Thought Master Duel was supposed to be generous with these things. This means I'm testing Brand Chimera with 3 Aluber 1 kit. How's that been going? Well, okay. Okay. We're just getting Snake Eye comboed. Nice. Let's go. I mean, fair enough. I have like a decent enough hand. Flame Burge, not the Flame Burge. GZ1K protects your fusions from card destruction. Flame Burge. YuGiOh is coming to Master Duel, says Maxi. Hell yeah. Man, I want the Whitewoods to be strong. Yeah, Whitewoods isn't very good right now. Droll is good by running my side deck. Since it's not good versus every deck, fair enough. Going against Fire King Snake Eye. Alright, we drew Branded Fusion. That's crazy. His board kind of sucks. What is this board? What happened? What went wrong? I'm getting ashed? What? Doesn't even have a princess in graveyard. Shit, he ashed the completely wrong thing. I can go Tragedy. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so much advantage right now. Off Patchwork into Banish with Tragedy with Allure into... Oh my gosh. Patchwork, +1 again. Let's go. Alright, time to go Allure Darkness. I probably should have done... Allure is fine here. Guess we're banishing the Gem Chain. Let's dodge the Veiler. With a Book of Eclipse. Never mind, he doesn't even have it. I thought too highly of him. I can't just make an Albion here, actually. I'll just make a Lubellion, apparently. Oh, I know what I'll do. Go into Lubellion, chain blink or chain block the Lubellion, and then go Saronir, send the Bestial Luber, so I have a branded and red target. Also something for branded and white. Targeting the Poplar there is wild. I feel like Bestial Luber gets way better when you have a when you have branded and white in your deck for sure. Now we just go Mirror Jade effect. Sing the Titan Cloud, get rid of that Flame Burge. Now we can go branded in white, summoning probably the Boral, right? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. That's why I sent the Saronir. I was like, we could do a Boral play, right? Oh, I forgot he has Sanctuary. Fuck. I should have popped Sanctuary. Do you mind if I ask you for your deck list on Master Duel? That's fine. I can show after this game. Wow, I can Ash this Duel Calyx. That's crazy. Oh, I ashed that. I'm so bad. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad, actually. Is this thing, if this thing is destroyed... Crap. Did I actually fuck up everything? I kind of did. Because I don't have Guardian Chimera either. Whatever. You just go battle. My list isn't very special though. Like, it's just kind of botched because we don't have I don't have all my cards. Oh, we can just do Albaz. Cool. Yeah, let's do that. Make the Renbrum. Get over the Garunix effect. Oh, we can just do Brigand instead, that's fine. So you can't Promethea Princess me. My locals loves 12 with 2 wave. Where are they all on Marincess, GZ1K? Also, why is auto chain always on this game? Always on, no matter what. It doesn't matter though, because I still have Borreload wasn't gonna do anything. Why don't I have Rinbrum in my extra deck? Do I actually not own a Rinbrum? That's crazy. Now Garunix gets to resolve. Poplar resolves now. Now Garunix is going to use its effect. Just going to have to let him go into Kieran and then chain. Okay. I'll go Mirror Jade effect, that's fine. God, Guardian Chimera would make these games so much easier. 30 people watching right now, guys. Make sure to leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. We're at 44 likes now, guys. Let's get to 30 likes. Or, sorry, 50. We're 6 away. It's been a banger stream. Monday live streams have been lit, guys. We had like 60, 70 viewers for the longest time in here. Got 30 right now. Still just big chilling. Really do appreciate you guys spending your Monday night with me. Ended the main phase. That's fine. You need to get a second Mirror Jade stat, bro. I mean, I'll just let him crash in case, right? Sword what? Sword Soul? Is Sword worth running this format? Is branded Sword worth running this format? I don't know why I chained Brandon Red there, to be honest. I shouldn't have done that. It's fine, though. Sword is pretty good this format. If you're talking about info, I'm running it in my info list. Well, is there ever a point in going high spirits here? Like, actually? Yeah, there is. So I can get back some options. I only have one Albion though, right? So I don't want to use both. But I could. Fuck it. I get back branded fusion, I guess, even though that doesn't get me there because I have 3 Albazes. Banish? Yeah, whatever. I need to get back branded in red. It's not terrible. Just get the Cartesia out. Then go for branded fusion even. Oh, wait, I can go. Yeah, I could just, what am I doing? I'm going branded in white here. Branded white's broken. I think I get game with branded in white, frankly. I have to just hurry up because the clock is ticking. Holy crap. Sure. What the fuck? Sure. I didn't even realize that was my situation. Fuck. I'm gonna have to just go battle phase. I had to think that one out for a second. Alright, getting back the 1 second of time. Send this. Battle phase. Battle. Dude, I hate Master Duel timers. They're so ass. Like, actually. Alright, there we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is like, that is so frustrating. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh, like, real Yu-Gi-Oh is not like that. I don't know. Like, that is, I love losing to the timer right there. But yeah, this is the list right now. God. Okay. So, this is the list. I don't know. Like, Master Duel on Branded, with Branded is awesome, like, until you just start running into the clock, honestly. And we should have won that game by all means. Like, he did not have that game whatsoever. That guy was, like, so bad. It's whatever. And the thing is, it's so much slower than Master Duel, and I have to turn on my auto chains so that, and if I turn on auto chains, then I can't gimmick lock and stand by or draw phase. It's so annoying, actually. Like, you need to be able to click into things quicker also in Master Duel, so that, and animations take forever, so things feel very stunted. The clock is actually the dumbest part about Master Duel. I don't mean to just like rant like that, but like it's 100% the worst part about Master Duel, when all the decks are just like giant combo decks that take forever to play. Like, what kind of game do you guys want, actually, Konami, at that point? Because, like, apparently you don't want a game that takes too long, even though you keep printing cards that make the games go really long. Really weird. To still get branded lost in this deck. That stuff, it's either branded lost or Guardian Chimera next, but I don't know why I summoned that attack either. It was supposed to be in defense, but whatever. And the way the clock works, it's not, you should get more than 1 second back on the clock. Like, I get it for the anti-stall tactics, but it leads to a terrible gameplay. That was not what I was supposed to do, but whatever. I had a pretty bad hand, I'm not gonna lie. Great. Why does he get all of that off of a Dark Magician? Whatever. I have to look up Dark Burning Magic because the card didn't stay up long enough. Okay, whatever. Yeah, whatever. I even know I'm running Patchwork without Guardian Chimera, I'm gonna be real. This is... Why didn't it let me chain Boral load there? That is insane. Like, auto chain is the worst function ever. And I just lose so many games because I just, like, time out because of that. That's actually dog shit. Brother. Okay. That doesn't really do much. If he gets to use Mirror Jade effect, I'm gonna be fucked up, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, the decide button is actually the dumbest thing I've ever seen, I'm not gonna lie. I love top decking kit. It's actually my favorite thing to do. Oh my god, dude. No, I lose those. No, I don't lose, yep. What brand did Despia do good? Did you toss post info? You gotta go back to the stream to see, brother. But we went over a lot. Be going over more in the coming days too. Oh boy. I think I still win this. Oh wait, does this OTK me? Fuck. He almost OTKs me. Oh no, he just forgot to attack. Cool. I think Mirage is pretty cool. Oh, I don't even have Mirage. Nice. I need to go Sanctifier. I'm just ending at this point, guys. I'm sorry. I'm tilted off that last game. I'm not gonna lie. And now I'm just like getting stuck against like the worst Dark Magician of deck of all time. Dude, I'm just not even... I'm not even playing this one out. Alright guys, I'm going to get off for right now. I need to take a break, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure to leave a like on the stream. Check out all those links. Sign up to become a channel member if you want